some pals, and there's also therapy too.
All right, so we are in episode 2, which is so crazy. Ron and Jammy, one of the best episodes. People always talk about it, I feel, when they think of Parks and Rec. It's amazing. But I do have a little bit of an update from last episode. So I said I wanted to find out how exactly Werner Herzog, a.k.a. Ken Jeggings, which is his character name, the one who sold Andy and April the haunted house, got to be on Parks and Rec. And I couldn't find exactly who asked him to be in it, although Google did say, you know, Mike Schur and the writers were fans, but there wasn't like an actual official article about it. But, however, I did find an article of Werner Herzog talking about it, and I'll post it in the show notes so that you guys can read it too. He said the Disney World line was actually improvised, which was so crazy. He said that he just had this idea and the writers gave him leeway to kind of go with it. It says, quote, "When we were done shooting, I said to the team, I would like to add something to the text. Can I speak right into the camera?" And I said straight to the audience, "I've lived in this home for 47 years, but I'm selling it now because I want to move to Orlando, Florida to be close to Disney World." And he said his ad-lib was a major hit. And he said, quote, "People peed their pants." And he's also quoted as saying, "Just 10 days ago, I acted in a tiny cameo part in a TV show called Parks and Recreation, ? I've never seen the show, but I hope they keep some of it," which I thought that was funny. So yeah, that would make sense that Mike Schur and the writers were fans, because it's not like he asked to be on it, like, because he didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting tidbit.
That is. I love that that was improv and that he had that sense of humor to add that in.
Yeah, totally. And especially in his, we talked about this last week, but especially with his, monotone and his character, and personality, it was really great. And I was thinking even, I rewatched some of it just to make sure, and he already has his fanny pack on in that episode. So I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just ready for Disney World. He's ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yep. Absolutely. He just needs the ears.
Yep. Okay, so Season 7, Episode 2, Ron and Jammy, written by the late, great Harris Whittles. And if you're new here, Harris is a huge backbone of Parks. As a writer, producer, actor, he is one half of the animal control department in Parks and Rec, lost too soon. And we'll see a little cameo of him later, also in this very episode, which is exciting. And then this was directed by Dean Holland. Again, he directed last episode, so he's really on the ball for Season 7, which is really exciting because, he's the best. So,
yeah, that's great. I was going to ask you, because last week we talked about how a lot of the episodes were released on the same evening. Like they would do two episodes. Do you know if this episode followed the first one or if they waited till the next week to start that? Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me, to use Dean a second time and like in a row. And then also I just felt when this episode starts, it just kind of starts. Like, yeah, she's just walking right into Jamm's office. And so I was going to ask you that because it's like, okay, this feels like that would be how it ran.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out and see if each 2 episodes are directed by the same person. So like the next 2 episodes, if they're directed by the same person, and see if that's kind of like a thing that they did, or if Dean was just such a, backbone already and huge part of Parks. So it's like, why not just keep going with him? But we'll see.
For real.
Okay, well, I have summary whenever, so I'm ready.
Short and sweet so we can dive in. In the midst of a city council vote, Ron and Leslie put aside their differences to save Jeremy Jamm from Tammy too. Andy helps his... I wrote Aziz.
Oh.
Andy helps Tom.
Completely wrong.
Not completely wrong. Sorry, guys. Andy helps Tom in his quest to no longer be lonely, and Ben helps April search for her next career move.
Yay. Love this. Quick couple notes. This is the producer's cut that's on Peacock, by the way. This is not the original air. It's a longer version. So now we're getting to see some cut scenes. I do have the DVDs, and there's some scenes even like last season that were just full on replaced. It wasn't extended. It was just replaced with a different scene. So we'll get into that a little bit too. Very exciting to kind of have both sides of it. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely had scenes that stuck out to me like, oh, they didn't say that in the original, but I don't know if I'd be able to place what was replaced.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's all in the realm. It's not like that's totally out of the ordinary. You know, it's not like, oh, that doesn't belong there. Like it all would fit, you know? So yeah, I'm excited to kind of get into which ones are which. But yeah, we start this episode with Leslie, like reluctantly, but gallantly, like she is taking a deep breath before she enters, going into Jamm's office. Gross. I did see on the IMDb that the braille is wrong on his door. I don't know if that's completely wrong. If anyone reads braille, please let me know. But apparently, like one of the numbers is switched for his room number. That's a fun fact. But yeah, so we find out in a talking head that the city council is voting on whether or not to rezone the Newport land for commercial use. And the deciding vote is Jamm, which is gross because now she has to like grovel / kiss up to him, and just like she's always done for what she believes in. But it's just like, oh my God, really, Jamm? Come on.
Yeah, it's like we're reliving season 4, 5 again here for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Human equivalent of gas station sushi. I really like that line. That's what Jamm is.
I love that too. I have that written down too. I was gonna like say good for Leslie because I feel like she hasn't had to interact with Jamm very much at all. If this is the first time she's noticing some of this stuff with him. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, she says like I really hope I would never have to talk to you again. Yeah. But here we are. Yeah. Love that honesty. But yeah. And he says he's in a pretty steamy relationship when Leslie says that she notices something different. And I wouldn't right off the bat assumed that he looked like Ron. Like now that I know he does, it's like super obvious. But when I first see him, I'm not like, oh, he's dressed like Ron. So I think that's really like subtle and interesting that he does that. And his hair does look different too. I mean, it was subtle to me. I don't know. Maybe other people. Right. Exactly. So.
No, I think I agree with you. Like, I think when you know it's Ron, it's like, oh, they did such a great job of doing that. But it's not like a bold face, like that's who he looks like kind of vibe.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he says he needs to ask his girlfriend how to vote. And we're like, oh, God, who is it going to be? And then we get a jump scare of it being Tammy, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hi, Leslie.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. She's so good.
Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah. Oh, she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. I love that we've brought her back. You know, like you said last episode, there's going to be a season of rounding out all these people who have been here from the beginning. Yeah. And so it's very cool to kind of see that start happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be Megan's last episode with Parks. It's crazy. Yeah. It is starting to sink in too when I'm seeing all the, and I'll mention a couple people that this is they've been in episodes like from the very beginning. And this is like getting to the point where in the next couple episodes, the guest stars are starting to wrap their character. They're no longer, that gets their last episode. And it's so crazy. We've come such a long way.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be heartbreaking to be the actors, and because it's a little heartbreaking as the audience.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God. And following up from last season, so just as a heads up, I don't know how many people remember this, but this was technically a deleted scene, what I'm about to say. In the finale of last season 6, they made out Tammy and Jamm at Tom's Bistro because Diane and Ron were trying to get them together to be jealous of each other and like distract them from, you know, getting to Ron. And when I first saw this, I kind of forgot about that. And I was like, why did they keep seeing each other? Why are they still together? This is so weird. And then I was like, oh my God, right. That was cut from, and I do think that now I understand why it's cut, but I actually love that idea of the season 6 finale of them like being distracted and just trying to get together to, you know, for Ron's reasons. But yeah, that's so crazy. So the whole story of them meeting at karaoke now makes sense. And that's the story that the story that they created, like this makes sense too. So it works both ways, but yeah, it's really interesting that we got to see 2 different versions of how they got together.
Absolutely. And that was the tip off for me, was when they said karaoke. It was like, oh my gosh, that's right. That wasn't real at the end of the 6th season. Yeah. So, I mean, I think, but yeah, you can see it both ways. I think it's just sadder if you see it the season 6 way because you're like, he's been trapped in this for 6 years or 3 years.
Totally.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
while I hate Jamm so much, this makes me so sad for him as a person because this relationship is so toxic and he does not even have his own thoughts and feelings anymore. And I just like I'm with Leslie and Ron in this episode to like save him. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah, they're all over each other. It's really gross. They're on top of his desk. They call each other Jammy. Well, Leslie calls them Jammy, which is funny. But can I just say also, this is really random, but I'm really glad that they kept her glasses because I really encourage everyone to look at the TV shows that you watch, and there's barely anyone with glasses. And I know that they're keeping in touch with the librarians and all these things. And from a logical standpoint, like I've talked about this before, where like in filming, you can see reflection and glare off of glasses sometimes. So sometimes it's easier to just not have them. But it's total, that's like feels like a cop out. Like you can totally make it work without that. So I love seeing, like when I watch 30 Rock and Tina Fey is wearing glasses, I'm like, yes, glasses queens, like get together with it. Because, and I understand Tammy's not like the best, role model for glasses wearers. However, I am just glad to see representation of people who wear glasses. And I just thought it was really interesting because also a lot of like sexy presenting people, like they can't be wearing glasses. Like the whole trope is that you take off your glasses to be sexy. And so I'm really happy that they kept her glasses and she's still sexy and queen-like and like vicious, of course, disgusting and awful, sure, but still like a queen nonetheless.
Yes.
So I had to have that little moment.
Don't associate me with her personality, but like the glasses and how hot she pulls them off.
Yes, exactly. Representation matters.
It does.
All right.
I love it.
Leslie is all of us, I feel, when she says why. Like, and she's trying to like form
Dear
her
God,
thoughts.
why?
And she's just like, dear God, why? And again, this is when they said they met at karaoke. Okay, got it. And he says he's going to vote however Tammy says to vote. Oh my God. What?
Yeah. Just not good. Just not good. Yeah. Really toxic, red flags all over the place.
All over the place, red flags, yes. And this line, I believe also, this line was cut too where she said, I moved solely to destroy Ron. That's why she's still here. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. Like, she moved here. Like, so she lived near him. Like, they grew up together. Is what the story that I'm creating in my mind, just like Tammy won. But I was like, oh, okay, that's a long game, man. That's a long ass game to play to get Ron.
Yep, which is the toxic side, like that. I mean, we've always known that Ron and Tammy are toxic, but you're seeing a side where like it's her. She's changing her life that much for somebody who's been married for like what 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now, and has kids with this other person, and has very, very clearly told you that they don't want to be with you, and you're just like, oh girl,
I know,
go to therapy.
Yikes. Yeah. Wow. So I really loved getting that backstory though. That was really interesting.
Yes, samesies.
And then, Leslie says, like, well, if you want to torture Ron, like, vote for me because Ron is my opponent now. And she knows it's wrong. I really love Amy's performance here where she has a little look of like, her eye contact is a little bit like, oh God, what did I just do? A little bit of guilt moment happening, glancing away. But again, we're on the steamrolling, we got to do whatever it takes train. And that's just what she feels like she has to do in this moment.
Yeah, and in that talking head right after, I love this because she did this in the first episode of the season, and she's doing it again where she's calling herself out, right? She's like, because I have tunnel vision when I want to get something done, and so I'm doing it. And we've never seen her do that. Like other people pointed out to her. So in a way, Leslie still gets to be Leslie. But like I said last episode, like we're seeing this self-awareness, which to me is growth. So
yeah, totally. Yes. So now April is executive director of regional affairs. That's funny. This was cut too, where she changed it from regional affairs director. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Which is a very office vibe. You know what I mean? Like assistant to the manager or assistant manager. Yeah, very funny. I love that. And this whole next scene, I mean, well, that line was cut, but it keeps going because this whole next scene was not in the original air, where Ben comes in and says, for the bicentennial, they're doing a walk of fame for famous Pawnee people, which is really exciting. And today is Joan Calamezzo Day, so Ben invites April because April is a huge fan of Joan's. And we do get to see the Bicentennial Walk of Fame, but we don't get the explanation for what exactly it is right here. So in the original air, it just goes straight to the demands that Joan requested at the actual ceremony, the Buddy Holly thing, and when they're actually outside of City Hall. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And I didn't clock that was new information because it just fit so seamlessly that we were getting set up for what the next scene was.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, one of the reasons why she's gone so crazy with April's talking head explaining this is that we learned in the last 3 years she's gone way off the deep end. Like you thought that she was off the deep end already, but she goes even more so than usual. She did a string of shows from rehab. I think it's so funny that it's branded at rehab, like it's not like an iPhone like that she snuck in or something like that. Like there is a literal camera crew that followed her, and it's not just on her grizzle phone in her room. There's a little banner at the bottom that says literally Pawnee today.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a full-on production in this anonymous rehab, which I think is so funny.
Yeah, it shows how she just can't let go, and it almost made me wonder, like, were they there the entire time? Like she was in rehab with her.
Honestly, probably. She might have done like a reality TV show type of situation, which sounds like this is what she's trying to be, like the star of her own reality TV show. Which Joan is needed for, like absolutely needed for that. That's her service. I feel everybody would watch that. And they are, clearly.
Oh, yeah. Housewives of Rehab.
Yep. And then there's this lady that says this is supposed to be anonymous. And just before you get into your introduction of this lovely guest star, her name is Victoria Herzog, and I thought that was really funny that last name is from Werner Herzog, who appeared in the previous episode, like I talked about at the beginning. The one who sold Andy and April the house. So I think that's a really cool homage. I would not have clocked that if I wasn't doing the research.
No, and I didn't clock it when I was doing the research for this, but when you said it at the beginning of the episode, you're giving us the recap, I was like, oh my gosh, that's her last name. And so very, very cool. I love that. And we know that Mike Schur does that. So
absolutely cool. Yeah, I love that.
Yes. So this attorney, who unfortunately is being outed in rehab by Joan Calamezzo, is played by Mary Holland, who I asked Holly if I could do this because I just love her so much. And I also we don't usually like say ages, but I looked it up and she's 40, Holly. She looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever you're doing, Mary, you look, would never have guessed you were out of your early 30s. So kudos to you. She is in Ghosts currently. So really, really great. Go check her out in that. She's done like voice in Beavis and Butthead, in the one Bob's Burgers, Star Trek. But then I know that she's also done some touring with our wonderful Ben Schwartz, with Ben Schwartz and Friends. So I've seen some clips of her in the doing the improv there as well, which is she's really great in. And then Happiest Season is where I really got to know her. So if you haven't seen that, that is something that Ivan and I watch every holiday season because it's a really great film, very cute. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. She plays one of the main character's sisters, and she is just the sister that kind of gets pushed. Like she doesn't seem important to anybody else, but she does everything for the family, and she just plays it so well. And the way she breaks at the end is so respectable, and she just, Mary, you do an amazing job. I love you in that movie, and that's where I fell in love with her. So, and if you haven't seen that movie, go see it. Aubrey Plaza's in that as well.
I haven't seen
film.
it. Is that recent? Is that pretty recent?
2020.
Oh,
2020.
okay, so maybe not.
So, No, yeah, but I don't know if it had got a lot of publicity or anything like that, but we found it on
Yeah.
Hulu, and just we were like, this is so funny, and Dan Levy's in it too.
Cool.
Plays Kristen Wiig's gay best friend, not Kristen Wiig, Kristen Stewart. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so
yeah, I feel
it's
like it
just a
recently
really,
got
really great
publicity
film.
or something, because all of these cast members you're talking about, I feel like I just saw them recently on Instagram, like in this last holiday season. So maybe they were just like like talking about it, you know, for a holiday season. But
Yeah.
that's cool. I'll have to add that to my list.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, totally. Love that.
Love it.
And I did reach out to her agent, and then her agent told me to reach out to her manager. So I reached out to her manager as well. And I haven't heard anything back, but I will say she, like we just talked about, she is very busy, number one. But number two, she is also, this is just BTS that I don't know if anyone cares about, but she's repped by the same manager that Connor Story has, the blonde Russian from Heated Rivalry. So I'm like, oh my God, she's got some amazing company to keep in that roster, and that means that she's up there. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if she's currently doing Ghosts right now, because it says that she did 9 episodes, but regardless, it's like a current show that's on there right now. Or that's on network. My mom loves it. And I remember when I was looking her up, she did Senior Year with Rebel Wilson, which was funny too.
Oh, yeah. I saw that
where
too.
Rebel Wilson relives that. And then funny side note, like kind of 6 Degrees of Separation, you talked about Ben Schwartz. So she also had a show at the Netflix is a Joke Fest, which happens every year, with Lauren Lapkus, who also works with Ben Schwartz on the Morning Show YouTube series. Well, it's on, I don't know if it's on like an actual streaming service, but we played a couple of episodes of that show because Mel, the red-faced man, was also on that show.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. They're all in kind of the improv world and probably friends. And then I haven't seen it yet, but I also saw that she was in Night Bitch with Amy Adams, that got nominated for a bunch of stuff recently. I think that was like 2 years ago. Maybe a year ago, something like this. I will say, I've heard it's a really good movie, but the name throws me off. Night Bitch. I was like, what is this? Sounds comedic or like satire, but I don't think it is. I think it's serious.
I don't, yeah.
So I will
it looks serious.
Report back. Yeah. So I'll report back.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, she did a great job with that tiny line. I think that was really funny.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is where you can see Harris Whittles. To be honest, I didn't even clock it until I was doing the research, and that popped up in my notes, and I was like, oh my gosh! So I went back and watched it, and yeah, you could totally miss it. He's just sitting right next to Mary Holland's character, and he doesn't say anything, but he's there, and he wrote this episode, which is amazing. I love when they do that little cameo. Again, a reminder that he is one part animal control. And I don't know if I think we only see animal control maybe like one other time, maybe in the series for this season. So yeah, it's really fun to see him there. And it would totally make sense that he's in rehab. And I'm glad that he's getting the help that he needs.
I guess.
Yes.
Same.
Oh my gosh. All right. So continuing on with Joan's craziness, she I'm calling it kind of a psychotic break. Like, she already has been a little nutso, but and all of this other stuff is just like, oh my God. She gave every member of the audience a car that they all had to fight for. I have to shout out those background actors / stunt people. I don't know. They were great. Falling real. All over the car. The one guy punching really slowly. He was just like down, up, instead of like really fighting. And I thought that was so hilarious. And then there's this one guy that's just like hanging over the fence in the background, and you'll have to go back and look at it if people haven't like really paid attention to that scene, because it's just so funny and there's so many random details. So that was really good. And I love that she's just like standing to the side with a microphone being like, okay, how's it going? You know what I mean? It's really fun. So Joan. And then calling her exes while sitting on a washing machine. Oh my God. And that line they chose of, if you didn't give it to me, then who did?
Who did?
Oh my gosh. That scene had so many alts actually. And it was in the deleted scenes slash cut scenes, and I really want to play it for you, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
Hey, Johnny, it's Joan. What you up to? Remember good old Johnny and Joan? We were like, JJ, there's so much J.
Well, fine. Then lawyer up, Cisco.
Oh, Wayne, you left your back brace at my place, and sometimes I slow dance with it. Well, Dwight, it was real nice catching up with you. Hey, put your dad on. I need to talk to him, too. Well, James, obviously, I didn't know it would leave a scar, or I wouldn't have poured it there. Yeah! Louder! This is a wrong number. Oh, yeah! Tell me your name again! Well, Eric, if you didn't give it to me, then who did?
You can hear the full, like, round of her exes and how many random people there were, and then she also like is very close to like having an orgasm on the washing machine, and I know why they cut that because obviously it's crazy, but it's just so funny. And the phone kind of keeps like sliding down because the washing machine is really shaking, and yeah, it's really funny.
What a queen.
I know, so good. Mo Collins, so great. Then we have April saying, like, finishing out her talking head, saying that she wishes Joan was her real mom. And I don't know, kind of like hurt me a little. I was like, no, don't say that about your mom. Like, your real mom is probably really upset about that. But I understand what she means.
Yeah. It's definitely, I don't know. My brain was going to go one way. So it hurts when you like can put it in perspective of like, oh, like your mom. But like, I get why it's funny.
Yeah, totally. So back with our hologram tech. This is the hologram iPad moment with Andy and Tom. So Tom's article from last week is what they're reading now, which, by the way, they say entrepreneur/bachelor in the headline. And I feel like that's not important that he's a bachelor, but I do feel like that's what Forbes magazine / realistically in real life, that's what they do, which is annoying because I'm like, do we need to know that? I don't care. About that. But anyway, I know it's for the scene, especially because we're setting him up for being sad about all these other proposals and that he's still single. He wants to be dating someone. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good setup for where we're going to go, as well as the proposal that happens in the background.
Right. I love that Andy thinks everything here is free, where he's like chicken parm with lasagna on the side and spaghetti to go, and then he's just like pounding the alcohol. It's like, everything's here free, or everything is free here. All right.
Yeah. I assume Tom actually probably does give the Parks gang a lot of free stuff because of how much they supported him through all of this, and he's probably making good enough money he can give them a free chicken parm. So I would like to think that's what he's doing.
Yeah. We just have to be careful not to take advantage of it. But Andy doesn't understand economics or business at all. It's like every now and again a free meal is fine, but 3 free meals when I'm sure Tom is charging like pretty good money and all those cocktails. But no, Andy has given a lot, I feel. Yeah.
And I mean, but you also have a slow cooker at home now. So like you can go home and make your own food.
Fair.
You're not eating out of Frisbees anymore.
Okay, so now we're in the city council chamber again, and Ron is making fun of Leslie for the $0 bid. He's like, how's that $0 bid coming? Which I think that's a great line comeback from Leslie. In my experience with butt faces, you are one. I think that's really good.
Yeah. I love the delivery. Yeah, for sure.
It's so good. And then we've got Yvans Jourdain back. He plays Councilman Howser. We did a fantastic interview with him back in the day. He is so wonderful. He's one of my favorite guest stars we've done. So definitely, I'll post that in the show notes if you haven't listened to that yet. He is so nice. And this is, again, one of those characters. This is his last episode. End of an era. I mean, 19 episodes he was in total. 19! Yeah. That's truly wild. He's been with us since the beginning, even before Leslie was on city council. I mean, it's truly end of an era. It's amazing.
I always picture him when Leslie's riding Andy like on a piggyback ride, and he stops because they run into Councilman Howser.
Yes.
So I think it's also just a huge testament to, well, I guess maybe not because of Dexhart, but like he's still on city council this many years later. Like very cool.
Well, he's still the leader, which I think is,
he's
to
still
your point,
the leader.
a testament of his character and how even-keeled of both sides he is, for sure. Love that.
Yeah. And most of the time, the only competent one there.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Oh my gosh. And then for some reason, Councilman Milton has dyed his hair black or has a wig. I don't know. Has his earphones in an attempt to stay young, I guess, which is hilarious.
It's giving Creed.
Creed? Like the band?
From The Office. No.
Oh,
when he dyes his hair black
I don't know
for
why
ageism.
Yes.
No,
I don't know
you're
why
good.
my brain went
I
to
didn't
that.
specify.
Okay, got it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can really see that their brains, the writers' brains, definitely worked on both shows.
Yes. Love it.
This is, of course, played by the late great actor James Green, who sadly passed away in 2018. We did a whole breakdown on him a couple seasons back, I suppose. But yes, always will be remembered. What a great, great character. He's so good.
Yeah, agree.
And then we've got Dexhart there in the background as well, like you said. He didn't have any lines in this one, but I'm so glad he was there to fill out the council, because there have been times when they don't ask all the council members back. Most of the time they do. That's not to say that they're not detailed most of the time, because I would say 90% of the time we've got all the council members there, even if they don't have lines, because it definitely fills out that picture. But sometimes it's like you don't see them all the time, so it's not necessary, but they had him, and this is his last episode as well, which is so crazy. Yeah. And yes, we have interviews with Kevin Symons as well, who plays Dexhart. He's fantastic, so amazing. I'm so glad we got to talk to both of them. They're both such wonderful people, and they had such great memories and great background stories. And I did send both of them emails, mostly just to say thank you for being a part of the show for as long as they did, because Kevin in particular, whenever he was on, I messaged him to ask if he had any memories specifically, and he used to comment on our socials and stuff, and I was just really grateful. Obviously I asked if they had any memories of this episode in particular. I haven't heard back from them yet, and if I don't, that's totally fine, because the main reason I wanted to reach out to them was just to say thank you, because they really were such a contribution to both the podcast and the show. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, sad to see them go, but they've left such a great legacy in the parks world.
So good. So Ron goes up to the podium to state his case, and Jamm immediately, before Ron even finishes, says, "Yeah, I'm convinced. I'm voting for Grizzle. We're done." Like, so something changed that we didn't see. And I mean, we could guess since we saw Tammy, and something nefarious is going on. But yeah, it's so crazy. And now this is where we see the similarities with Ron and Jamm. Like, they're dressed exactly the same. The hair's the same. He has the line, like the whole Stash Bros situation. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's a bummer. And I don't like that Leslie doesn't get to say anything,
her case,
because I don't think that's even a fair way to say you've been fair when you've been voting, because you didn't hear her side.
I know.
Frustrating.
Of course, Jamm. And yeah, I love Ron. We know we love some Ron Swanson, but when he says, "Well, that was easy," and has this like callous, rude glare toward her, it just reminds me of all these bad people who get away with bad shit. And I was just like, I hate this moment for Ron. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Because he's just like, and Nick did such a good job with, I don't know if he really meant to do this, but his eyes really say it all, where he's just like, I won, the end, And I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like he thinks it's over.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so moving on, we are at the bicentennial celebration Walk of Fame situation. I love this little Joan Calamezzo tile, like a Hollywood square. It kind of looks like stained glass with her face on it, kind of like the murals that, I think it was a cutscene actually, or I can't remember, that Leslie made for Galentine's, and it's like everybody's face made of like recycled porcelain or glass or whatever. It kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really cute. And then we've got Ben saying he can't accommodate all the requests, like Chateau Marmont not being champagne. It's a hotel in LA. So we can't get a bottle of that.
She was just
really
trying
funny.
to sound fancy.
I guess. I looked it up, though, and that one is in Hollywood. That hotel is in West Hollywood.
Okay.
And I'm sure I've driven by it. I looked at a picture of it and I was like, oh my God. And it really does look like a castle. And it looks so beautiful. And it's kind of nestled in the hills. And it's about $1,000 a night. Insane. And I don't know what all is included in that, but that is the highest hotel I've ever heard of. So if anyone has stayed there, I'd love to hear from you to see if it's worth it. So super fancy hotel. I do think it's like any other fancy hotel where they have a restaurant, and I'm sure you can make a reservation at the restaurant even if you're not staying there. I've done that before with fancy places like that. So yeah, I'd be interested to know if the food is worth it too, because the food is expensive as well, of course. But yeah.
Of course. If you want to use their bed for $1,000, I'm sure their steak is pricey.
Oh my God. And then the other request was that Buddy Holly is famously dead. Joan wanted Buddy Holly to sing, but he's been dead for 60 years. And she's like, what? Complete surprise to her. Somehow she didn't know that.
I don't know how
my
you
God. That
so
is
funny,
actually
though.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then this is where April gets Joan to sign her book, Game of Jones, which I think is a fantastic name. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's a wonderful one.
It's great. And I think this was an added piece that happens a little after this, where April reads the entire title of the book.
Oh, yeah.
And like
It's
all
so
of that is just so great as well.
Oh my
And I
God.
love that she's like, did you say Glenn? She's like writing it out to April, but she writes Glenn, and April's like, yes, my name is Glenn. She just
Did
because
you
she
say
loves
your
her
name
so much.
That's pretty. I like that Joan says that's pretty. That was really funny.
Agree.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so good. And just a shout out to the props designer, Gay Perello. She did a lot of the books. Like Ben was reading a book when he was in his depression state. And it was like, and then I think April was reading a book called Air Force None or something like this. And yeah, that's all her. So I think that's really awesome. And I really respect it.
Same. Yeah. Very creative.
Yes. And yeah, like you said, the excerpt of the book was not in the original cut. I wrote down a couple of these where she threw the hot soup at the waitress when it wasn't even her waitress. But I think my point was made, which I thought was so funny. But also awful, throwing hot soup at
feel
someone.
so bad for the waitress.
Who wasn't even her waitress.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
And then the line of my uterus is 8 inches flaccid. What the hell? So many of those random ass like little tidbits, which those writers, man, they just have such a ball with that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they just spend so much time sitting and shooting the shit to get to those lines.
Yes. And this next moment is where I do feel like I was like, is Joan okay? Like, this is where I'm like, this is when she says, thank you, Commissioner Gordon, people of Gotham. She thinks we're in Batman City, in Gotham City. This is where I'm like, does someone need to check on her? Like, this is more than just her normal, out there crazy times. This is like, does she have like maybe schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, or what's going on? Is she taking too many pills? Joan, are you okay?
Could be the pills.
Are you healthy?
Yeah. No, the answer to that is no.
No.
Oh
like
my gosh.
someone
I think
needs to be watching her.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw her probably healthy was like season 1 or 2. By the time she's dragged back to her house by Tom and Ben, I think we've lost her.
Yep, I agree with that for sure. I'm going to go powder my vagina. Still one of the great Mo Collins lines.
So good. I
Oh my
hate
God.
it so much, but it's so good.
And I always think about the bloopers too, because Aziz could not get through that. Like, just could not. Neither could Adam Scott. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So good.
So good. Oh, gosh.
And this speech really gets to April. So Joan has a little moment where she's explaining / giving like a keynote type of situation. And she says that people ask her, how does she do it? And Joan says she just loves what she does. She loves being on TV. She's known that she wanted to do this since forever, and she just wants to keep doing it. And Joan says, if you don't love what you do, why do it at all? And that leads April to ask herself, do I even like my job? And you can tell during this speech that April's kind of looking down and a little bit like concerned and sad, and I'm like, that's interesting that we're getting that even more growth from April.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny to me that, like, I know she loves Joan so much, but it's for all these ironic reasons. And now this person who is quote unquote her hero is actually making her think about her life and think about growth.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
so
very
true.
interesting how that happened.
Good point. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I know that I'm taking it too deeply, but I don't necessarily agree with the if you don't love what you do, why do it at all? Like, there are reasons to do things that you don't love for things that
Survival.
you do love, if that makes sense. Yeah, like you have to put aside some of that. But I see what she's saying. I know what she's talking about. But it's like that also feels like a little bit of a privilege to get to be able to do what you love to do, because that's not always the case.
I think it's more important to make sure that there are parts of your life that you really absolutely love. Like, you know, if you have a job that's not your favorite, what are you doing outside of your job that is giving you life and passion, and, you know, what makes you excited outside of work?
Yeah, and what does the job that you don't necessarily love give you that like is helping you get to what you do like? You know what I mean? That's which I know is putting a positive spin on it. And if you truly hate your job, maybe it is time to think about quitting, because that like what you if you do a job that you hate for 40 plus hours a week, it's a soul sucker for sure. I've been there. So yeah. But I just thought that was worth mentioning, because I was like, it is a privilege to love what you do and be paid for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think
so.
You know, yeah, I agree.
But
I agree with you.
But it does lead, I mean, but this isn't what April's thought is. April's thought is just like, I think she doesn't use the word love. She's like, do I even like my job? Do I even like what I'm doing? And I think it's really like this existential moment, because she's never thought about it. She's just kind of fell into this internship and was like, I never looked back kind of vibes. And then Leslie was such a strong leader that she was like, I just want to like, you know, support her and follow her. So yeah, it makes sense that April's asking, do I like this? You know, because she's not really gotten a chance to do what she loves, where I feel like all these other people have, you know,
her husband parts. Even, right? Like has his own Johnny Karate TV show. Like, and I think she's supported so many people to get to the thing they like to do.
Totally. And Andy's even experienced London. Like, he got to try stuff and experiment stuff, you know, and now Tom and Donna are doing their thing and what they like to do. So I think it was really smart of the writers to ask April, like, do I want to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so now Tom and Andy are getting drunk, and Tom thinks he's the only one who's rich and still feels empty. That was a funny line, because, that's like classic riches don't make you feel happy.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah. But what is it? There's a Daniel Tosh has a stand-up from a really long time ago where he says, like, money can't buy you happiness. Of course it can. Money buys a jet ski. And have you ever seen an unhappy person on a jet ski? And it, like, he delivers it way better than I do, which I always thought it was really funny. But when you sit and think about it, it's like, like money can solve some problems in your life, but it's not what's going to drive you to be happy. So
yeah, I think money can buy happiness, but not joy or peace.
Yeah.
I think it's a very distinct line, because I do believe, I realize I wrote happy in my notes, but I do believe money can buy happiness, but I don't think but happiness can be fleeting. You know what I mean? Where peace and joy are like within your soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that change in words, because because it can also make your stress go away. There's a lot of financial stress 100%. And whatnot. I'd be much happier if I was in Italy right now. Money buys me that.
Yeah, it can also buy safety. It can buy convenience. Yeah, totally. But he's not looking for that. He's looking for someone to share his life with and someone to help him feel joyful and, you know, content with himself as a partner. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then Andy suggests, like, maybe you already met the person that you're supposed to be with, and he keeps swiping through family members that Tom's related to on his Grizzle page, which I'm guessing is supposed to be, like, reminiscent of Facebook. But I thought that was funny. Like, that's my cousin. That's my dad. What's wrong with you?
So funny.
Oh, my God. And I did have to, I'm sure you found this too, but I did have to go back, like rewind, because apparently when Andy finds Tom's cousin, the name is Sadie Ansari, and Ansari is Aziz's last name. Yeah, which is, so this is a reference to Aziz Ansari's actual cousin. And it was, and so I was like, oh my God, I don't know if the picture is his cousin. I feel like they would have done that because maybe that's like a fun like nod for her to be on TV or something. And then do you remember when Tom said that he changed his name to sound more white / like fit in with Indiana? I totally forgot about that part. But apparently his real name is Darwish Sabir Ismail Ghani, which is in fact the name of one of Aziz Ansari's cousins. So like that's so
very
crazy.
Cool.
Oh my God.
I love that they leaned into all of that.
So maybe Sadie Ansari was just like a nod to Aziz's last name, but the actual like Darwish Sabir, when they did that back in season 1 or 2, is like the actual name of Aziz Ansari's cousin, you know? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that picture, is Darwish or who that picture is. I couldn't find that part, but if anyone knows, let me know.
Very cool.
Okay. So Lucy messages while they're online looking at people, and it's a really sweet message. She's happy for him. She was always a good match for him. I love Lucy for him. It's so cute. I'm so glad that they brought her back.
Yeah. I think I always loved her because she loved the things that Tom loved, and like that's something he missed from other people he was with. But she was also just so centered and like a really good balance to his high energy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I always loved them.
Yeah, I feel like they had a good balance of like goofing around, but like you said, she was like very serious about, or like can be honest with him. I feel when he's being stupid, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't get taken the same way, like because Anne was honest when she thought he was being stupid, but I think he always took it as like, she's just not cool. But,
right.
Like
totally.
Lucy's likes the stuff he likes. She's cool. To him, and so it's like
they're on the same level, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I always felt like Anne was too mature or something. Not that Lucy's not mature, but Anne's like too older, and like I don't know, they're just like on different paths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think they also both saw each other at different levels. Like Tom thought he was cooler than Anne, like still understood. Oh, I got a catch here, but like he always thought he was cooler and knew more than she did, and Anne was always like, I'm above Tom because I'm smarter and more mature, and like so they didn't never sit on the same level in each other's eyes, which is a problem.
Right. And you all, if you are not new here, if you have listened, like know my qualms with the Tom and Anne story.
Yeah.
I think it's so dumb. And it went on for way too long. Okay. 2 episodes maximum is what we needed.
Yeah.
But they kept that shit going for as long as they wanted. That was crazy.
They juiced that.
Anyhow.
They juiced that. Yeah.
Yes. And so and as a reminder, I mean, Lucy broke up with him because he just wasn't over his ex-wife. He wasn't over that whole thing of jealousy and all these things, which is funny too that he had a wife. Just a friendly reminder.
Yeah,
back
reminder.
To season 1. Wild. And I just do want to also shout out the actor who plays Lucy is Natalie Morales, and I've always loved her. She's been in so many wonderful things that I just love watching. And she's also like, I follow her TikTok too. She also is just like a cool person. Like she is very Lucy in that sense. And I also said this, I think, when we first mentioned Lucy a long time ago, but just a friendly reminder that my story for her is when I was living in LA, I was doing extra work, and she was a character in Rob Lowe's show. Very briefly, it did not last for long. It was Rob Lowe and Fred Savage. I forgot the name of it. Oh shoot, I forgot it, but whatever. Called like Grinder, I think it was literally called Grinder. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, if I hear it, I'll know it.
Yeah, and it was like, what is it? I don't even know what it was about. But anyway, we were shooting, and as the extra, I like stood behind her, and she had this jacket on, and I was, I don't know why it possessed me, because as an extra, you're not really supposed to talk to the actors at all. But I was just like, yeah, totally. And I mean, there are certain sets where they will say specifically don't speak to them because actors are crazy sometimes. We've talked about that ad nauseum about how lucky we are that we are reviewing Parks and Rec because we do not have that experience, but that doesn't mean it's the norm. Anyhow, so since I kind of like parasocially knew her, I was like, oh, I like your jacket. And she was so chill. She was just like, oh, thanks. It's just wardrobe. And I was like, oh my God, that's nice. It was so stupid because I was like, this is not even a conversation, but I was like, oh my God, I just spoke to Natalie Morales. Oh my God, amazing.
Yes.
She just is very kind and just like chill, man. And I don't want to use the word approachable because I don't want everyone to approach her, but she was just like, you're a human, I'm a human, the end. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate her. And she is also a director. I can't remember the movie that she directed, but I watched it and it was really good. I think it's called Plan B. And it's literally about the abortion pill. And it's like, but it's ensconced in comedy. It's really good. So highly recommend that if you get a chance. So well done to Natalie Morales. And I'm glad that they brought her back.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so they come up with a drunk plan to go to Chicago to see Lucy, which is, oh my God. That's really funny, though, when Andy grabs Tom's face and is like, you know what this means? We have to go to Chicago. And I love that. The little switcheroo that they do where you think Tom's going to say no, but then he's like, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard in my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this sparks this great adventure that Tom and Andy now to get to go on together. Which I know,
love. And they don't get a lot of scenes together, so it's nice to have them kind of have a moment. Now we are at the vote again, and kind of going outside of, when Jamm said that he wasn't going to vote for Leslie, and Leslie approaches Ron, and I love this little moment. It's so random, but I just love it. You snook that vote away from me. The snooker has become the snort. Like, what the hell? I love that so much. I don't know why. Yeah. It's so funny and weird.
Feels like just this very made up like back language.
Yeah. So this is when Ron does his iconic sniff in the air, eyes around, the Tammy face, I call it, and he knows Tammy is here. I love that they kept that throughout the series, by the way, like being able to smell her when she comes. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh gosh. Well, and I think this is a really good tell for us because Leslie's accusing him of going to Tammy and Jamm before the vote. And this is like our validation as an audience that he had no idea. Like he didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I know. I didn't think that he went to them. I just thought that Jamm was being like, Jamm. But yeah. Totally.
Jammy was being Leslie what they are.
Right. But Leslie thought that he snuck around because he was the snort.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Tammy said she would never do anything to help Leslie, which brings me back to Jessica Wicks, honestly, in the last episode where Leslie has that line of like, you didn't said everything I thought you were going to do and say, which is exactly how we feel about Tammy right here. Like, this is classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oddly comforting.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, this time is different, I feel, because Leslie had like evidence that Tammy would actually do something to hurt Ron more. So like you would think that Tammy would do this necessarily, but you also can't really think anything because she's just unpredictable. You know what I mean? So she thought Leslie thought she was being logical, but all logic is out the window with Tammy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I just have to say, too, I love that both Tammy and Joan are such great characters in the sense that they're so dimensional. Like, I love insane, layered characters. Like, you're not just insane, the end. Like, they add so much depth, I feel. I mean, not depth in the sense, like, we know Tammy's core reason of, like, I want to destroy Ron, but also, like, fuck him. Like, that's her, like, thesis. I get that. But it's also, like, I feel like she's layered in the sense, like she's a librarian. She also, will do anything at any cost, like the fighting in the diner and the getting with Jamm. Like, I just feel like it's like there's more story to it and more dimensions. Yeah. And even with Joan, same situation. You know what I mean? So I just like that a lot. I think those ladies did a great job.
And I think the actresses bring those characters to life. So real.
Absolutely. Yes. And I love the hair color for Tammy, too. I don't know who decided that, but it's, like, so random and, like, trashy in a way. Yes. The way she does it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Tammy thought she could get Ron back by voting for him. And I love that I do love this part, even though the part before where Ron was, like, mean and despicable to Leslie. I do like this part for him where he's like in such a good place / over her that he just whistles and walks away and she's like, what? You know what I mean? That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't even talk to her about it. He doesn't put the line in the sand. He's like, I've done this already. I'm not even going to give it the energy.
Yeah, totally. So this next scene, okay, so this was cut too, where, which I think is really good for the audience to understand, because throughout the whole show, he has bandages on his hand. And I think it works either way, because to me, I was like, oh, the food and stuff is like making him deteriorate, essentially.
Right.
Like that, like you could really put that, or like Tammy's beating him or something, like you could really make that work in your head. But in the canon of the show, Leslie goes into Jamm's office and he's doing woodwork to be even more like Ron, and he keeps cutting himself / hurting himself. So that is why he has the bandages on his hand the whole time.
Yes. Oh, so sad. He even has to do Ron's hobbies.
I know. I think it's funny that he's still
Jam.
calling her Nopey. Like, he still thinks that they're best friends, which is really funny and sad and pathetic.
Yeah, agreed. Another character that has a lot of layers. A lot of things going on for Jamm.
Oh, my God. Ugh, dear. Leslie is still trying to win him over. But, okay, so this is where I kind of had a moment where I was like, but the vote's over, right? Because I don't know. For me personally, I did not think that was staged chronologically or like explained to the audience in a way. Like, I thought the vote was just over, but the actual vote hasn't happened yet. It's just like that was when they were presenting their cases. So I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. So this is where Leslie is trying to still convince him, and the cut part is where Jamm thinks Tammy has bugged his office, so he puts on a front saying loudly that he's not going to go to lunch with her. Leslie like has to sell that she's leaving, like, okay, I'm leaving through the doors, and then makes all these sound effects like Foley noises. Oh my God, I think that's so funny.
It's so good. It's also another little link back to The Office, because Jim does this when Michael's on the phone with David Wallace, and he's like, "Is Jim there?" And he's like, "Nah." And then Jim has to pretend to knock and walk in, and it's great.
Yes.
all
God.
the sound effects, and
then
great.
He points at Jim.
Also,
hi, David.
Yeah. So good. And here it's just another sign of the toxicity here. Like the fact that you think your girlfriend bugged your office, that's so bad.
I know.
So
bad. Far deep. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our next scene is getting out of the taxi in Chicago. Andy and Tom are here. They did it $830 later because they drove literally from Indiana. Why did this cabbie accept this fare? I don't understand.
I know. You could have been like, nah, bro. $830 too. I don't feel like would get you that far anymore. Like if you're trying to
not
Uber
anymore.
or
That's
taxi,
for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Totally.
I tried to Google it. Like where could $830 get me if I Ubered out of Chicago? And it was not helpful. I would have had to actually, I think, like plan the trip and everything. But I know that like downtown Chicago to the airport is like $120. Now, to be fair, the airport's always put on those like airport fees, but still, you're not getting to Pawnee for $830, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did look it up. It's about a 3.5-4 hour trip. So it's not across the country, but I mean, I was thinking it was a little further, to be honest with you. I thought it was like a 7-hour trip, but 3.5-4 hours. But yeah, that still would not be like $830 worth, probably. Crazy.
Yeah, insane. But Tom's got the funds now, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he pays him. Also, side note, something super exciting, BTS, is that according to IMDb, this taxi driver is Doug Smith again. Always the driver in parks. He's actually a producer / crew person. But he drove the limo to prom for Andy and April, where Andy thinks everything is free. He drives the taxi around the airport for Ben and Leslie in the San Francisco episode at the airport. And now this, which I love. And friendly reminder that his character name is Yewner, Yewner, Plake with a P. Not Blake, but Plake.
Okay.
Oh my God. Amazing.
So good.
And I love his little creative frustration moment. I can imagine that, like, I don't know, they were in a drunken like belligerence moment of like, no, we have to do it. That's why he accepted the fare.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, as long as you'll pay me, I guess. And so, yeah, I like his little anger where he's like, no, I'm not going back. Just pay me. And that's funny.
That's fair. And they slept the whole ride, right? So part of you thinks like, did he drive them
At least
in the
towards
middle
the
of the
end.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, insane.
Uh,
Yeah, because it's not. It's
yeah.
daytime, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, oh my gosh, this is such a funny, memorable Andy moment of Chicago, the Big Apple.
Oh. He does it twice. He
Oh my
calls it
God.
the wrong thing twice in the episode.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So good. And I want to know how
Love
they
it.
knew where she worked. Like, from my recollection, they did not keep in touch. So how did he just like know what office she worked at?
I would assume from like if she shared like where she was working on her
Grizzle?
socials. Yeah, on Grizzle. That's where I would assume. Unless
Okay.
he did some real creeping Googling.
Yeah. Maybe he did that. I don't know. Or maybe
Yeah.
she told
I wanna
him
know-
like before they stopped talking. Maybe she said like, I'm moving to go to this job, and he like kept that
Yeah.
in mind for the last like 3 or 4 or 5 whatever years. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. She works downtown, and the building looks really nice, and that's a really nice part of Chicago. So I'm interested at the end of the episode why she's like cool Pawnee again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
She just wants to go
Yeah.
back.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's not wrong when he says you can't just randomly show up to see someone in a different city you haven't talked to for 5 years. Like, yeah, that is
Yeah.
a murder moment. And I love that line,
Agreed.
like,
Yeah.
of Lucy's, "You're not going to murder me, are you?" Like, half
Right.
joking. That's so funny. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It also shows you that they're on the same thought process wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
So very cute. Even though they're
Yes.
talking about murder.
Yes. Oh my gosh, and I love this too. How did Andy come up with this? It's so smart. He makes up that Tom is helping him look for a place to live because he just got a new
Yeah.
job. And I was like, oh my God, Andy, well done, sir. But then he goes right back to Andy and says that the new job is
Yeah.
being the head coach
No,
of Chicago
yeah.
Bulls.
Yeah. Well, and then he's the whole rest of the episode, he's like, I'm moving here. Like
Yes.
he's created this lie so that Tom doesn't look
Mhm.
like a murderer. And then now he's like, I'm
He
fully in
believes
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just immediately loses all intelligence. Yes. And
Yeah.
Tom's like,
I would have loved
no, he's working. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would have loved like a side conversation where he calls April to tell her that he has to
Oh,
move
yeah.
to Chicago.
Yeah. And she's like, what? Yes.
What?
No, you're not. Oh my God, amazing. Yeah, and I think it's funny too because when Tom says no, he's working at a nonprofit, which is like where that whole thing starts of this false narrative of wait, what? Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh man.
And yeah, this
Andy.
is where the again proving the Lucy and Tom moment. Like, you know, she calls him out when he's being stupid. The like Lucy suggests they hang out, and Tom does this funny Chicago accent moment, and Lucy's like, no, immediately, and he immediately
Yeah.
agrees, and it's like, I'm sorry, I did that.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
So good.
love that.
I love it.
And then next scene is when April comes into Ben's office kind of twitchy and nervous and rants about her job and does she even like this? And yeah, I think like we said before, I think that's just a really great, wonderful layer of adulting, like building on that last episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I also haven't said this yet, but I love her outfit.
I know, me too. It's cute. That skirt and
Yeah.
the shirt is really nice too. Yeah,
Yeah.
very professional
Very,
looking.
very professional. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's finally thinking about her purpose in life. And I do think that's important. Like maybe that's what Joan was circling around to when she said, like, if you don't love something, like I do feel like finding a purpose or a passion, like maybe it's not your full-time job, but like what is that thing that keeps you going or that you're like really into? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a job or like a hobby or anything like that.
Yeah.
But finding your purpose, maybe it's family, I don't know, like I think is interesting that she used that phrase because that is important for all people, I feel, and everybody. It's very relatable and realistic. Like she's thinking about how she fell into this internship and just kept going with it, and she doesn't know how she really got here, and she didn't really think about it as it was happening because it was good and it was paying, and
Yeah.
she liked her leaders and she liked her husband that worked with her and all these things. So thinking about the purpose is, I think, something new for her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're stuck in a job, when she says my insides are dying, ugh, that's so real.
Yeah. It's hard to get up in the morning and like, that's why even if you're not doing a job in like like Joan says, I wanted to be on TV when I was 10. Like our childhood dream jobs or our dream jobs later in life, even if you're not doing that, like I don't think you should have this dread, like emptiness about going into work either.
100%.
Kind of like you were saying earlier, like if it gets to that point, like,
Yeah. Got to rethink some stuff. I will say, don't leave your job unless you have savings. Not in this economy. I've been there too.
Not in this
Do
economy.
not leave your job until you have something else. Or unless someone can support you or you have savings or something. I'm sorry to say that because I'm usually like jump off the cliff, take the risk. But I lived through it and it worked out after a couple months. But woof, was that depression real and that savings drained. Oh my God. And I mean, I'm glad, like, okay. I mean, I'm glad with everything and the way that it turned out, but I'm just saying, really think about it. Really think about it. And I know it's hard because when you looking for a job is a full-time job. So like, again, like you said, if you get to that point where it's just dread, like maybe you do just need to like leave and do something. But it's, I would try your best to look for jobs whilst you have a paycheck.
Yes.
Even though I know that's hard. So Ben says, what else would you do? Like, what are you passionate about? And this part was cut, I believe, where she says sleeping, barking at the mailman, drinking from the toilet. That's totally so funny. Like being a dog. That's what she likes to do. That's what she's passionate about. Yeah. Oh my God.
So funny. Which is a slight nod to like when she did find her passion in like the animal shelter stuff.
Totally. That's true. Yeah. I would have thought that as well. Yeah, I think this part definitely was cut when Ben says that. And what did you want to be? It goes immediately to the what did you want to be when you were 10? Like Joan said in her speech that she wanted to be on TV, like when she was young. But the vocational test that she takes and he takes for fun to see if he could be an astronaut, which by the way is hilarious. That part was cut from the original version. And when he's like staring over her head at like, and she's like, do you think that I'm going to be an astronaut, or like, are you checking to see that I'm not getting astronaut or whatever? I actually want to do this. I've never done a vocational test like this. Have you ever done one?
A really long time ago. Really long, like probably in high school as like a test of where I should be applying to schools and stuff. But it's it's been a long time. And I don't know. I don't think you ever get a response that's no answer. I think you get suggestions of like, hey, nothing specifically fits, but you're really good at these skills and these jobs require these skills kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know they're doing it for the comedic value of like April doesn't have a place.
Yeah.
But just so people aren't scared off, I don't think you ever get there's no job right for you answer.
Right, exactly. Unless there's some glitch in the system. Oh my God. Which was a whole other thing. This is so dumb, but I had a moment of, I always am trying to make connections to Severance with Adam Scott. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the part where April takes the vocational test and she gets that she should go to work for Lumen, which is the company in Severance. And then that's the next step for her. And it's like, it's so funny to me. I can't wait for that season to come out. Oh my God. Anyways, yes. So I will let you guys know what I get if I take a vocational test. I hope it's not. I hope it is free and not costing anything. Because I've taken like personality tests and stuff, but not like specifically job tests. So anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So. Cool. Also, side note, Ben would not be a good astronaut. I'm so sorry. I think he would freak the fuck out and he would like really just have anxiety going up into space. But I guess you can be an astronaut on land. Like you can be, the people behind the computer doing all of the calculations and stuff and science and stuff. He would do that.
Yeah, he'd be good at that stuff. But yeah, being up in space, I don't think he would do well with.
Yeah, like you can't even handle being in the morgue, sir. I know it's a different kind of fear, but still.
Yeah. But
you're scared of death. And astronauts have that very real risk of death.
Absolutely. He just wants to do it because Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And it's just like a fun job for him. So I get it. Okay, Ben. Yeah. It's fine. We love you.
Yes.
Okay. So now we are at Murphy's Steakhouse with Leslie and Jamm, again building on being Ron, eating all of the steak, even though he has IBS. Oh my God. I hate that I know that, says Leslie. Yikes. Oh my God.
Oh, this is so heartbreaking. It just gets worse every time we see him.
It just gets worse. A bit of a breakdown on the location here before we get into all of Jamm's ailments. This episode features the actual real-world Murphy's Steakhouse, which was, it's not there anymore, was a beloved decades-old institution located in actual Indianapolis, Indiana. And it operated out of a former Frisch's Big Boy restaurant. I'm so sorry, I've never heard of that, but that is what it is. So if you know what that is, please keep us posted. That opened in 1958, and then Jim Murphy of Murphy's Steakhouse bought the building in 1977, and it operated until 2014 when construction in the area compelled the owners to merge with Pat Flynn's restaurant up the road. And then sadly, Jim Murphy passed away December 1st at the age of 91. What a legacy for Murphy's Steakhouse.
Yeah, wow.
Also, I'm going to post this article in there, but in the show notes. But I found this article that lists out, it must be a fan, I think, that lists out a lot of the locations that were in actual Indiana, that the show was paying homage to Indiana. So I think that's really cool. One of them is actually Ron's building, very good building company. It's the exterior of the Kurt Vonnegut Museum Library in Indianapolis, which is so fun. So if you're in Indianapolis, check out this article because I think it would be really fun to go see those places. And again, they all are the exteriors. It was not actually shot inside of those buildings because they shot in LA. But the exterior shots were all, a lot of these buildings were in Indianapolis or Indiana at large. So yeah, I think that's really cool that they used the Murphy Steakhouse and a couple of other ones. But for this episode in particular, that was really cool to learn that outside of that building was actually in Indiana.
Yeah, I love that. So, like, why not? If you're going to go out and shoot in Chicago, why not, just flit over to Indianapolis and get some exterior shots?
Yeah, totally. I know. I would love to know how that works. Like, is it stock images that they're using, or did someone actually go out
great
there?
Question.
I don't know. Anyhow, so back at the steakhouse, it's disgusting because we're talking about all of these things. Tammy has Jamm's stool analyzed to make sure that he is eating steak and drinking whiskey. Oh my God, Jamm. This is bad. It's gone so far. And Leslie is like, this is not that healthy of a relationship. And she's trying to make you be someone else. And I also do love that she knows all these things about him, even though it shows their very specific relationship dynamic. They're not really friends, but they're not friends because they're coworkers. But even before they were coworkers, they had to work together and get things from each other. So it's very interesting how she lists off his personality traits like you love Porsche, spiked iced tea, Hooters Platinum card. Oh my God, great character description. And for people that aren't familiar with the writers' rooms and stuff, they have what they call a show Bible, which is where if you're kind of stuck on a character, they go back to the show Bible and they like have a thesis for like each character. And I was like, oh my God, that had to have been in the show Bible, or maybe they added it because that is such a wonderful description of who Jamm is.
Yeah, absolutely. That it kind of helps us revisualize who he was while we're sitting here staring at him being like, oh my gosh, what has happened?
Yeah, totally. Because you can see Jamm was always like kind of pathetic, loser-y vibes, but he thought he was confident and he had like, his douchey self going on. But this like is a different level and it's very upsetting and disturbing.
Yeah. It's very disturbing. Yeah. Oy.
Especially when he has his little breakdown where he does it gets the better of him when he's talking about he's depressed, sick, nothing brings him joy, and he's smiling while he's saying this. So that's kind of a bummer, but then he like starts crying and he says, "Help me, Nope." Like, oh my God, she has broken you. You are broken.
Yeah.
And I love that moment of like, I used to be great. Everybody thought so. And she's like, well.
Yeah. I don't know if you're great.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It is
nice that he's asking for help. Yeah. It's nice that he's asking for help. He kind of is realizing that, he's not in a healthy spot.
Yeah, and he's like forced to say that as well because he's like having this mental break and his hair is coming out as he's like maniacally laughing. Then he has cuts on his hands and then he's talking about having babies. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to make more of you, which I think that was cut too. I don't think the baby part was in there, which thank God. Oh my God. No. Yeah. No. Oh my God.
Oh,
So now back
Oh,
with the
Jam.
vocational test. This is what you were saying, that there was no matches. April stumped the computer, which is very heartbreaking. And then this is where we get to the what did you want to be when you were 10? And finally we get to the morgue/mortuary, because that's what she wanted to be when she was 10. And I feel like
That tracks.
that totally tracks. It's a very good character moment for her. I feel like Aubrey Plaza needs to be in some sort of rendition of Wednesday or the Addams Family. She doesn't need to be Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she could be. She would kill it. But like, I feel like it'd
She
be fun
would.
if she was like a cousin or like some like crazy, like magical lady who knows Wednesday or
Yeah.
something.
She fits
mean-
that so well.
Totally. I mean, she sort of like has that moment in Catherine Hahn's show. Oh my God, the Disney show where it builds on
Oh,
the
yeah.
superhero movie.
The
Forgot
witch,
the name
the
of
witch
it.
show.
Yeah, and Aubrey does a great job being a witch, and it's so good. But I feel like it'd be fun to see her on Wednesday too.
Yes.
And this is where Ben is so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, he is just not having a good time. And then we get to meet this morgue worker. Oh my God, he's fantastic. People are dying to get in. He's so happy.
I know. The puns. I can't.
The puns are so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got amazing voice memos from this actor, by the way. And
Great.
before I play that, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I'm so glad that we got it in time. But before we get to that, his name is Jeff Harlan, and the character name is Dan Candle. I love that character name. I actually think that's one of my favorite
Yeah.
names. I know it's not as like crazy as the other ones, but I love Dan Candle. What a fun one.
Dan
I feel.
Candle. Yeah.
But yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in 911, Roseanne, both the original and the reboot. He was also in Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later, which is a fun 6 degrees of separation because Amy Poehler was in that rendition. Castle, oh my gosh, a bunch of things. So I haven't actually listened to the full voice memos, so I'm glad to get a chance to see what he has to say. So this first one was just asking how he got his job on Parks, what I ask every guest, and I really appreciate sending them in so quickly. So here we go.
Thanks, Holly and Maddie, for asking me to be a part of this. The role of Dan Candle, yeah, I remember that audition very well. I'd met Dorian Frankel, the casting director, maybe a few months before. I hope she would not mind me sharing this, but she's a wonderful singer, songwriter, really a voice of an angel, good writer, good guitar player, and a wonderful actress, aside from being a wonderful casting director. But I'm sure all of those talents really informs her ability to do what she does. And she was just a dream to audition with. She was totally open for playing back and forth, and I was a little concerned with being a little too over the top, but she said, "No, that was great. No, let's try it a little more." And we only did maybe 2 or 3 takes on tape, and she was very happy, and I felt good about it, so it ended up working out, and it was a blast to do.
Yay, that's so fun and so cute. I did not
That's
know that
awesome.
about Dorian Frankel. That's cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool backstory there for us.
Yeah, totally. And as you can tell, he does voiceover work. He has that timbre to his voice for sure. So, and I think it's
For
really
sure.
interesting too, because it was definitely like he's using, I don't know, Jeff, you'll have to explain, because I feel like in these voice memos, it's like a little bit more of the lower register you're using. And in the show, it's like you're really excited. So you're using that high register.
Yeah.
And I love to hear both. I love it. It's awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like the idea that he thought he was being too much, but that totally worked for the show. I don't think it was too much at all. I think it was perfect, because that contradiction between death and happiness is like amazing. Or happiness while you're surrounded by death. I love that.
I'm so happy to say that the day on set was great. I almost want to say it was more than like a half day. The shoot went really quick. For me, we only had 2 scenes, so and it was scripted. We didn't do any improv, so it went pretty quick. Everyone on the crew was great. Dean Holland, who directed it, I remember what a sweetheart this guy was, and so funny. And, it was just easy. You can't always say that, but everyone, there was no attitude from Adam or Aubrey, and it was only the three of us, so I didn't get to work with Amy and Chris and others in the cast. But it was still, I do remember it was so hot. It was in the middle of a heat wave. We were shooting out in these rented stages, I believe somewhere in North Hollywood or possibly north of North Hollywood. But Parks and Recs a lot would use CBS studios in Studio City. And but we weren't shooting there. But needless to say, it was hot everywhere in LA, but especially in the valley. And our mortician or embalming room that, of course, had the feel of, it's a cold, refrigerated room, was anything but. And they did their best to try to keep it cool. But Aubrey and Adam and myself, we would step out into just outside of the set. They had this huge fan blowing, and we just stand there catching the breeze to kind of cool us off. But, gosh, what can I really tell you about, that's those two scenes. It was just so fun working with them. It was so easy. It went by so quick. I wish we would have been able to spend more time together. But no, it was a great time.
That's so cool. What fun BTS to know that it was really hot in a place that's supposed to be refrigerated.
Yeah. They made it look like they were cold in there, so they did a good job.
Yeah, and I love that all the background stuff in the scene itself, like you can see the chemicals in these big like bleach looking plastic holder things. They did a really good job setting that up. And yeah, I think it's really interesting to hear that which actors / guest stars they want the improv from, and it's not that they want them from the actor, it's if the scene calls for it, essentially. But I think everything that they had scripted was perfect, and I think all of them. I mean, Jeff was fantastic as the mortician guy, so I don't know that it needed any improv anyway. It was perfect as it was. And I love hearing also how all these guest stars, for the most part, it was such a well-oiled machine by this point that they really just got in and got out, did their thing, had so much fun, and then left. So I really love hearing that that's like consistent throughout the last couple seasons here. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, here is the last one. Oh, also so excited. I had a note I was writing as he was talking that, yay, Dean Holland. I'm glad to know that he was really nice and sweet. That's so always great to hear.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
last one from Jeff.
Does death freak me out like Ben's character, or am I?
I asked him that because I was interested to know, as like people are definitely, I don't know, have all types of feelings about death. So I was truly just curious. I know that's a kind of a bit of a weird question to ask, but it's in the realm. So I was like, I'm curious to know.
Yeah, why not?
Am I maybe more excited like April's character, or fascinated like April's character? I probably err toward April's character. When I was just out of high school, I had a job. I grew up here in LA, and I had a job delivering flowers for a florist in Beverly Hills, and it was a great gig. I mean, I ended up getting to have birthday cake with Alfred Hitchcock at his house, and, just in delivering flowers, people, the stories I got out of that gig. And for, being a young guy, I'm glad I had that gig. But I did go to so many cemeteries for funerals, and many times I would lay the flowers on the caskets, at times even put them in the casket with the body right there. In fact, a particular funeral director, I kind of borrowed a part of his personality for Dan. This guy was very upbeat, like Dan. He was a little stranger, but a very interesting guy, and I never forgot him. And so anyway, where am I heading with this? I remember one time, it was my first time actually, accidentally walking into the embalming room. When I was talking about laying the flowers on the caskets, that's in the room where the casket is, with the body that's going to be viewed. But I remember walking into an embalming room and seeing a couple of bodies hooked up and being drained. And it was a very strange feeling, not at all one of fear. It was very peaceful, I gotta say. I felt like I wanted to apologize to them I'm so sorry I accidentally am interrupting this thing, whatever this, well, they've already passed, but I don't even know how to really explain it or where I'm really going with this, other than I just remember the feeling of peace, and I felt like I was invading their privacy. But I hope that's not in my near future or too near future, but you never know. And it's inevitable for all of us. That's it.
Oh my gosh. That is
fascinating.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
And I see what he's saying. And that's such a fascinating way to look at it. Like, it is what I got from what he was saying was it's a spiritual, like, exercise. Your body and soul, your body is being drained so that your soul can move on to the next phase. And whether or not you believe that or whatever, it does feel very existential, spiritual. So to have that idea instead of, I think for me, I probably lean more towards Ben personally. I'm not as like freaked out as he was, like, physically, I feel, but seeing bodies, like, at the funerals that I've been at, I don't like it. It's not something that interests me at all. But that is a really interesting way to look at it, as like I do look at it as spiritual regardless, but seeing that, like, freaks me out. So yeah, that's really fascinating. And how crazy that you could use your story and experience of flower delivery to inform this character and to know a morgue/mortician to use or base your character off of. How fascinating. It sounds like Dan Candle was meant for Jeff.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Anyone else would have been a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
That is so wild.
I'm more in line with you, where I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. If I had walked into that room and seen that, I quite possibly could have thrown up. And but I also very much understand where he comes from, that he was like wanted to apologize, right? Like, because it is very personal and whatnot. So I get
Yeah, and you want to
definitely
be
get that side of it.
respectful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
I do think death deserves that respect. And
yes.
Yeah. That's so crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. And also, like, that's not Jeff's fault. Like, somebody should have been monitoring that room to make sure no one went in there. Okay.
For real.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh my God.
That should be locked.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for that amazing walk down memory lane. That was such an interesting perspective to get. So I really appreciate it so much. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Absolutely. Agree.
I will say that Jeff's character, Dan, says about the cadaver shoot, like, I want to show you the cadaver shoot. I did look it up, and that is not real. That is a myth created by Hollywood. And because in my head, it's so funny that we're talking about this, what he said, because in my head, to me, that seems like really not only, like, ethically insane, but also, like, it's not respectful to shoot a dead body down somewhere, but also, like, how does that preserve the body if it's just being like,
right.
Yeah, like, what could, and especially if it's in, like, rigor mortis already, like, couldn't something break, or, like, I don't know, it just does not seem medically correct, or, you know what I mean? So it's like, this can't be right. And so I looked it up, and I mean, look, if you guys know about a cadaver shoot that I do not know about, tell me. But according to the internet, it's because of movies and TV shows like this that say, and mostly it's in hospitals. It was like hospitals that would, from the higher floor in these movies, would, like, put the body down to the morgue that's always usually in the bottom. of the building, in the basement usually. So, anyways, but yeah, I would hope that that's not real. I mean, online it says it's not, but I hope that somewhere that's not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and also, like, I don't know, you just, like, so much engineering has to go into that. I don't understand that. And, like, yeah, what if the door's not locked? Somebody forgot to, and then there's just a bunch of dead bodies piling up. Oh, my God, that is so dystopian and, like, horror movie science fiction vibes. Not real. I hope that's not real. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Okay, so back in Chicago, we are near Wrigley Stadium. We walk along the lake. Yes, I love Chicago so much. I'm very glad that you got a chance to go recently.
Yes, this is my favorite place in the entire world. Like, one of my favorite places in the entire world. Because you know how much I love a city and getting to walk around, but you and I also share this love of water. And so to me, the fact that I can be walking in the midst of buildings and there's a river that goes through them, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is pure happiness and peace.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a moment here that I'm very, very excited to talk about. And I've been waiting since our very first episode to get to this episode to be able to talk about it, which is Parks and Rec has a Simpson moment. And for those of you that don't know, the Simpsons have done a lot of predicting, I think on accident, probably educational to a degree, but a predicting of what happens in our world. And Parks and Rec does this here. Lucy makes a comment that the energy in Chicago and the mood has been much more positive since the Cubs have won the World Series, which happened in 2016. And so this came out, or was written 2014, right? And comes out 2017. And they actually won the World Series in 2016. And there are a lot of reasons. Hold on. I brought this to be prepared to talk about all of this. Okay.
Amazing.
So I have to do this. So I always thought this was insane. And there's several reasons. And I also looked up why Mike Schur doesn't think it's insane that they predict this.
Okay.
So it's very, very insane because at the point when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, they had not won a World Series for 108 years.
Wow.
Huge drought in wins.
Yeah,
and it all
totally.
stemmed from a curse. So, well, not all of it, but a lot of Cub fans, we all blamed the curse because we weren't winning. And so, if you don't know this,
that's how at Fenway thinks too, right? Red Sox have
exactly.
This curse
I was
too.
just going to say that. Yes. Yes.
That's so funny.
Boston.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, which this even ties even more in. I was going to mention it because Holly and I lived in Boston very shortly after they broke their curse. But the Boston Red Sox believed that they were cursed as well. And they were, and I don't 100% remember. It's the Curse of the Bambino is what it's called. Right. And I would have to look up again exactly 100% what that was. But
or we have to
Theo
just watch
Epstein,
Fever Pitch again.
Ah, yes.
It's about, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. But in Fever Pitch, that's what it's about. So the owner of the Sox sells the Sox or something to produce this Broadway musical. And the Broadway musical was a huge failure. And they were like, that's the whole curse that, like, because he did this awful thing by selling the Sox or like whatever, like to produce this god awful musical. No, and I remember that one guest star. Oh my God, you guys, I love Fever Pitch so much. It's one of my fave movies. But that I remember that one guest star. She was like, nope, and her Boston accent was like, nobody would ever see that piece of crap. And because Drew Barrymore's character does not understand like that she should not say that out loud. She like went to the gift shop and bought all these books to understand the Sox so that she can be on the level with Jimmy Fallon's friends. And anyway, and like she says, what's this? What's the Curse of Bambino? And everybody's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't talk about this.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Anyway, so that curse was a big problem. And Theo Epstein was an executive that was brought into the Red Sox, and he was a president, or I don't remember exactly what his title was with the Red Sox, but he was a big leader, and he broke the curse under the Red Sox. And so he then went to the Chicago Cubs, and he was in charge when they broke the curse. So he has this whole vibe now too, that he's breaking these Major League Baseball
saint of
curses.
Baseball.
Exactly. That he is.
Wow.
So I will tell you about this is why the curse happened for Wrigley. So in 1945, a huge Cub fan, and he was a local Greek man, and he had a restaurant called the Billy Goat Tavern. It still exists. I don't know if it's his, or if it was named after this curse and is now the Billy Goat Tavern. He had an actual goat. And so he brought his goat with him to Game 4 of the World Series in 1945. So that's the start of it. And he was turned away. And because they were like, you can't bring pets into Wrigley.
Okay.
And they said, you can't bring him in here. And I guess the owner, from the research I did, the owner of Wrigley at the time said, you can come in, but your goat can't. Like, you can take him home or whatever you got to do. Like, you can come in. But he was so mad. His goat was really important to him, I guess. And he basically said, hold on, there are very famous words that he said. The Cubs will never win no more.
Okay.
And so the curse of the Billy Goat was born. And so we hadn't won a World Series since 1908. So almost 40 years after that happened, we didn't go to a World Series. Like, we hadn't gone to a World Series and won, but we had gone to a World Series between 1908 and 1945. And then we were cursed. And so it was 108 years by the time we got to 2016. So that's one of the reasons that it's such a huge deal that we ended up winning the World Series. But additionally, like, the Cubs, we were having a good run. We were getting good prospects and all that kind of stuff. But we'd been good in the past. We had good players in the past. We had Sammy Sosa. We had Derek Lee. We had good people, Kerry Wood, on our team who could have taken us, and we didn't go because we felt like we were cursed. And so very, very, like, I know that doesn't stem for everybody, and it doesn't, but that's like just kind of the lore.
Yeah.
So what Mike Schur said, I'm going to read this because he was asked about it, sorry, I'm trying to find the exact quote. As soon as we decided to throw the last season of Parks and Rec into the future, into 2017, we sort of started calculating what the world might be like. I was the only person on the staff who cared about baseball enough to track the Cubs minor league team. It's not like I was the only person that thought the Cubs were going to be good. True, a lot of us thought we were going to be good. But every baseball writer in America knew the Cubs were going to be good. I can't emphasize enough how little credit I feel like I should take for that prediction. It's a little like if we had predicted in the show that Hillary Clinton was the president in 2017. There would probably be people asking about that now, saying Hillary Clinton was running for president in 2014 or 2013. That would have also been pretty easy to call to make based on information that we had at the time. We're not wizards. So I went and I looked at who were in the minors to be sure that I was correct of who was in the minors at the time. And he's right. We had Javier Baez, who ended up being an absolute huge player in us going to the World Series. We had Chris Bryant, also huge. He went on to talk to the Rockies later on. Kyle Hendricks was our pitcher that dominated that entire season. So there are these people who definitely played a huge role, but I still think that they should take some credit because we had good players. We had good players between 1945 and 2016, but we still never made it. And so the fact that we made it and we won the World Series in 2016 and they predicted it 3 years ahead of time, like, is so cool. I will remember the night we won the World Series with everything in my being for the rest of my life. And the fact that this episode came out and I was like, oh, a girl can dream. And then it happened is like amazing. So I had to do my little spiel because my heart is so excited and I'm a huge Cub fan in case people did not know. I'll take it.
Yeah. Lovely. Well done. Love that. Oh my gosh. Love the props involved, the costumes involved. Love it. Okay. Wait. So, what exactly does minors mean? I thought minors was like minor league baseball, but you're talking about players. So players
will play in the minors. So and then you'll get pulled up, right? So if you get drafted right out of high school or right out of college, a lot of times it's pretty rare that you go to the major leagues right away. Usually you'll play in a AAA team, AA team, and then you'll be called up when they feel like
Okay.
you're playing well enough.
But what do you mean by
or when
like
they need to
Cubs
fill a spot.
minors? Because does
So
the
every-
or is it okay? Because like I guess when I think of minors, I don't think of like the team. The major league has their minor. It's just like the city has their minor. But are they all associated with the major team?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay, I get
So somebody who would be drafted by the Cubs out of high school, college
Yeah.
would be sent to the Cubs minor league team.
I see. Got
And
it.
so,
What are
like,
they
we have the
called? Are they
Iowa
literally called
Cubs.
Cubs minor?
Iowa Cubs.
Oh, Iowa
is one of
Cubs.
them.
Okay.
Yeah. So they play in Iowa,
Chicago.
but
Oh, Iowa.
they don't
okay,
play in
Iowa.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they play all over because we also, like, some people, like Tennessee doesn't have a baseball team, but there are teams that play them in the minors in Tennessee. And so Peoria, Illinois, where I used to live, we have the Peoria Chiefs. And that's switched ownership several times while I lived there. Sometimes they were the Cardinals minor league team, and sometimes they were the Cubs minor league team. I actually met Javier Baez, and my brother has a signed ball from him, one of the guys I mentioned who was in the minors, from 2012. And he was called up very shortly, 2013 maybe, very shortly after, because we got to see him play in the minors before he was called to Chicago.
Okay,
So-
gotcha. So yeah, they should take credit because it's not guaranteed that they're going to go up to the major leagues. Like they are really good, of course. So like probably, but it's not guaranteed. Also, that's what happened with Fever Pitch too. You know that? Like they were writing it so that they could win the World Series. But that, if you've ever seen the movie, at the end when they're like cheering on the actual like baseball field, they won. Like that was the actual World Series that they won, and they did not predict that. That just happened while they were filming, which is so crazy. And I mean, Parks and Rec is really good at that. I don't know if they like. I think about. I know this is so less than the Cubs, but we've been talking about it recently with the Power Rangers coming back. Like,
yeah.
That they predicted that too, and I know that was like so off the cuff, whatever. But like the reboot came back in 2017, and the actual like filming, writing of that was 2014. Crazy.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
So 2015 is when this came out. 2014 is when it was written / shot. And then, so really when they won it in 2016, it was a year in advance. Or maybe 2 years, I guess, if you want to count the writing. But yeah, oh my gosh, that's so wild.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Yeah, and I'm sure that there's more information about the Curse of the Bambino as well that I did not say. But when you said that like some people don't think it stems from that, whatever, I feel like that's the same with any sports team and the Sox too, where it's like, but yeah, they thought that because they did one thing, it led to the next thing, and that's why they're cursed. And like, who cares if you don't believe it or whatever? That's like the lore. So yeah, that's so wild. Okay, cool. What a fun information. And so yes, they are wizards. They are wizards. Don't you lie to me, Matt. Sure, I know.
Give
that
yourself
they're a
some
wizard.
credit.
They are wizards. Okay,
It's like, put your humility down and just be proud of yourself that you did that.
Oh my god, so funny. Oh my god, maybe it's just like the true manifestation.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, amazing. Well, love that. The only moment that I found was that I did have to look up, and I know this sounds silly now after all of that, but I had to look up if the Wrigley gum was actually in fact associated with Wrigley Stadium, and it is. It's the same one.
Yeah. Yep.
I do love Andy's line of this is where Wrigley used to grow the gum, and I was like, oh my god, you're so silly. So silly.
No.
William Wrigley was his name.
Oh, Andy.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
But that's so cool.
Yeah,
And really
it's been
cool
a long
that
time
you
since
were.
I've looked that up.
Yeah. And super cool that it was another universe moment that you were just there recently, and now we're talking about it here. That's really fun.
Yeah. I love seeing it after just being there too. Yeah.
Amazing. So Lucy says she might want to go back to Pawnee. She always did like it there, and she does a good job of like being a little nostalgic of like, yeah, I do like it, And Andy is still, oh my God, stuck on the idea that he's truly moving to Chicago and is like, you've got me really missing Pawnee. I can't believe I'm never going to go back. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not like you found an apartment and have to move there today too, even if this was your real life.
True. So now Leslie goes into Ron to call a truce so they can break up Jamm and Tammy. And truly, Leslie is just trying to help, which is really great. And I love that we see this from her. And she says Ron might be the only one who can help because he's actually been through it. And I do love that commentary that Jamm is a monster, so he doesn't have a soul to save. Have you ever seen Monsters, Inc.? Engage in the culture for once in a while. Especially with his kids.
Yeah, he has 3 kids. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
But, I mean, Monsters, Inc., like, maybe, I think that had come out a little bit prior to this year, but not real. It was around the same time, so y'all are crazy.
Yeah, but my kid's seen it twice, and he's 2.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so, I mean, come on.
Because it's like a staple.
Totally. Oh, my gosh, Ron.
Yeah.
So then Jamm comes in to the office, and it's actually really sad. He looks like a battered puppy at the shelter. Like, it's awful. He's, like, cowering with tail between his legs. And then this is when Ron offers Jamm a gold bar to say one unflattering thing about Jamm, and Jamm is so entrenched in this that he asks if Tammy can keep the bar. Oh my God. And he's like smiling through it.
It just gets worse.
It just gets worse. And I love that Ron does a medical exam basically on him, like shining the light in his eyes and everything, like making sure he's breathing and his pupils aren't dilated and all these things. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah. Ugh.
I do like that everything he brought everything with him from the parks office. He has that little poster of the boxer man behind him and the dartboard. I thought that was a really interesting touch that he's still Ron, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is when he says, "No man left behind," and protect yourself against chemical warfare. When he's talking about the Tammy code / like Tammy, protocol. Tammy does not abide by the Geneva Conventions.
No.
Side note, I
That's
did
scary.
do a break. What's that?
That's scary.
I know. Yeah, like you have to protect yourself. I'm sure she'd throw acid at somebody. My God.
Yeah.
I did do a breakdown on the Geneva Conventions. Obviously not as insane as everyone should probably look into this themselves, do your own research and everything. But I was interested about the chemical warfare comment. So the Geneva Conventions, and if you already know this, skip ahead like 45 seconds, okay? They're a set of 4 international treaties adopted and continuously updated since 1949. And they established the core legal standards for humanitarian treatment in war. And then so that makes them the cornerstone of international humanitarian law regarding prisoners of war, rights of civilians, that kind of thing. So there's 4. So when you say the Geneva Convention, I think it's misleading and confusing because there's actually 4. And then there's also protocols and all these other things. But the first Geneva Convention protects wounded and sick members of the armed forces in the field, basically saying that they must be respected and cared for without discrimination. And it also protects medical personnel and equipment and facilities. Second Geneva Convention protects military personnel at sea. So we've got land and sea now, and it protects to naval warfare is what the second one is. The third one, it protects prisoners of war, POWs for short, if you are familiar with the term, defines humane treatment for POWs, and it forbids torture, guarantees adequate food and medical care, and requires captors to allow POWs to communicate with their families and the Red Cross. The fourth one is protecting civilians during war. So it provides humanitarian protections in and around war zones and in occupied territories, explicitly prohibits violence against life and person, hostage-taking, torture, and unfair trials. There's 4 conventions in total, but what Ron is talking about is addressed by the 1925 Geneva Protocol, is the official term, regarding the use of biological and chemical weapons in international armed conflicts. And I mean, it's a lot of information with like subsections and articles 1 through 3 and all these protocols. But I will say the thing that when I was reading this, and I know this is probably going to be controversial, but it is true. When I was reading this, I was like, we did not abide by a lot of that stuff. We definitely tortured POWs. That came out quite frequently, and civilians. But so that's where, as I was reading it, I found information that said Bush / the U.S. definitely got in trouble with the war on terror because the Supreme Court ruled that we were, in fact, in violation of this with torturing prisoners of war, which is Zero Dark 30, talks a lot about that.
Yep.
A lot of movies talk about it and how we were hiding that we were doing that. But yeah, so it's really interesting, and I'm sure there's like so much more information, but that is what the Geneva Convention is. And I thought that was really interesting that Ron brings it up. And the U.S. has a really bad history, like a really bad history of that shit. And, but also we're trying to preserve peace at the same time. It's really tricky. It's really tricky, and it's something for foreign and global affairs people to decipher. But that I'm just presenting the information about what the Geneva Conventions actually are, and what they're supposed to do. Yeah. And there are many other countries that also have signed this treaty for the Geneva Conventions that also got in trouble for a lot of things that they did not abide by for this as well. So tough stuff. But I was interested.
I'm glad you listed them.
Yeah. So Ron made a Tammy deprogramming kit. He is prepared. He made a chastity belt. I love the commentary that it might be too big for Jamm, but you can just pad it.
Yeah. So good.
Oh my gosh.
Love
we haven't had a dick joke in a long time, I feel.
Yeah.
And then we learned that they haven't even had sex yet. That is the last card that Tammy will probably play. And it's so gross and pathetic that Jamm says, she lets me rub up against her legs sometimes. Oh, Jamm.
Ugh. Jamm. Yeah, rough.
Which also proves that he really does just want love, I think, at the end of the day, even though he's a dummy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But that's why
Not
he was
that
the
sex
perfect
is
target.
love, but exactly.
Yeah.
So Leslie says that they're going to do a Pavlovian technique where the thing you like is paired with pain or a negative emotion. So she gets Tammy's perfume, Girth, which, by the way, hilarious name. And every time Ron sprays it, Leslie, Girth, which I think they talked about that when we got Dennis Feinstein.
I was about to say that's got to be a Dennis Feinstein perfume.
100%. And every time Ron sprays it, Leslie slaps Jamm, which is funny. But apparently, the internet had a little moment with this, saying that this is actually aversion therapy, not Pavlovian. But, I mean, Pavlovian, I feel, is similar. But online, it says that Pavlovian is a biological response paired with a neutral trigger. And this isn't neutral. So maybe that's why. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, what Jim does to Dwight is Pavlov.
That's exactly
where he
what I
turns
was
off
thinking.
his computer. Yeah, and it's just a sound, right? It's not something like Dwight's going to have necessarily an emotion to. It's just his body's going to sound like oh, I expect a mint now because,
Right.
So
that
they're
makes
probably
sense.
right online.
Yeah. I agree. And yeah, aversion therapy is what most people would refer to this as, but I could see how it'd be confusing because like when it's two things paired with an emotion, but this one, like you said, the Pavlovian is not really an emotion. It's just like a neutral response that happens biologically, you know? But anyhow, yeah, the slaps here look so real, so funny. I did look it up.
They
Apparently,
do so well.
They really do. And these slaps were not real. I did look it up, and it was a stage slap, and the sound effect was added in after. And a lot of times they'll add the stage or the slap sound on stage too, so that you really feel it while filming. But I don't know if that happened here. But both of them, Amy slapping and Jamm turning his face, Glazer, who does that, turns his face so like hard, and it really seems like they hit him. Maybe a little bit they do. And when I have not done intense stage combat, but when I've done little things, they say one of the things that you can do is to kind of cup your hand, and it's a little bit less of a slap. It's more of like a pound almost, but not like gentler, and it doesn't sting as much. And obviously you have to be careful with how hard you swing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's that it just looks so real. It was crazy. It's like this very slapstick moment, which I think is really cute.
Yeah.
And then there were people online saying, as sad as it is, they're not too mad about Jamm having to be slapped because he's such a tool. And I was like,
yeah.
They were like, okay, it's about time he got slapped. But at least this violence is somehow helping him get better, maybe? Question mark. I don't know. Like, at least it's not like terrible. Like, we're doing this, just beating him up. Like, the goal is for the good of all involved.
Yeah. Although I'm sure Leslie's channeling her frustration.
100%. Oh my gosh, this seems like the time that people would break. Like I would just be cracking up, I feel, even as a crew member, you know what I mean? Just watching this. So now we get to the morgue, and Dan Candle says they can talk about draining. Oh my gosh, which is so funny that or not funny, but ironic that he talked about that in his voice memos in real life.
Yep.
Side note, I don't know if you noticed, but on Leslie's little pamphlet thing from the mortuary, it's called Lurpus Mortuary.
I missed that. That's great.
And if you're new here, the Lurpus family is a Pawnee institution. They own so many things. There's always guest stars and characters that are Lurpus families. Herman Lurpus is I think it's Herman Lurpus and Bjorn Lurpus that are the two most famous Lurpuses. Herman is the older man at the pawn shop who works there, who tried to date Anne at the auction. And Bjorn is the one that's like, oh, there's a paunch burger there? Like, their burgers are real good, though, even though there's going to be bees in them. And they also own, I think they own the garbage trucks. They own a lot of stuff. So anyway, they're a legacy.
Great.
So April wants to touch a dead body. And she's like, okay, like, we're ready to go. Like, let's do it. But before that, you need 2 years of school and a year-long apprenticeship, which, honestly, when he said that, I was like, that makes sense. I feel like you need to know some basic anatomy and maybe, like, processes and the chemicals and all that kind of stuff. And I did look it up, and I wanted to see, like, if you were interested in this, how would you actually do it? And there are a lot of community colleges that have these programs. There are actual mortuary schools, but they're not in every state. So sometimes the community college is your option. Most candidates complete a 2-year associate degree. Some pursue 4 years, like, specializing in that. But a lot of people, all you need is the 2-year associate degree. And then in addition to the schooling, you have to do an apprenticeship. So this is real, which is accurate. You have to look at the state licenses as well, because some states you have to have a dual license for being a director of a funeral home and embalming. But some states separate that. So you really have to make sure that your state is good to go on that front. And you also have to make sure that your school is accredited by the American Board of Funeral Service Education. That's a real thing. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And like we thought, you get to study subjects like embalming, anatomy, chemistry, pathology, restorative art, grief counseling, and funeral service law. So that is really extensive and well-rounded, I feel. I'm going to post this. I found an article literally called bestcolleges.com/trades/how to become a mortician. So if
just
you're
in case anybody wants to know.
Yeah. And I think I think that's really interesting. And I think that it's also really important. Like, I know we've harped on this a tiny bit, but I think that if you do have an open casket at your funeral, like, I think it's really meaningful. And I know from experience, having seen my family members go through this, that it's really important to see your family member, how you remember them. And like, the embalming process is a really important, like, deep moment. And I remember writing that in my notes, and I feel like I get emotional thinking about that, because sometimes people die with such swollen, like, figures, or they're just like their disease took over their body. And so if you do have an open casket, if that's what you decide, it's like really meaningful to have them be how you remember them in their life, in their prime. You know what I mean? And not this disease that took over. So I think that's really important and interesting to learn about. Not that I would do it, but I'm just saying I respect everyone who does it. Yeah. It's so valid. And those people working at funeral homes have to have such a fine line between professionalism and emotions. And it's really, I think, important. It makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important.
And then April says, why is every job just paperwork? That's so real. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hate to say it. Every job's going to have something you don't want to do about it.
Mm-hmm. And Dan Kendall's like, it's a living. Oh my God, so good.
It's so funny to me that Ben wants to get out of here so fast, because it's like, these are the jokes you live for, bro. It just shows you how uncomfortable he is in there, that he doesn't want to stay with somebody who's like got his same sense of humor.
Totally. Oh my God, that's funny. Especially in regards to this content subject matter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But honestly, I was thinking, April, when I saw this, I was like, April, you could have done this. That's not even that long of a thing for this passion that you have. And I will say, like, I guess it depends on how bad you want it, what you're willing to sacrifice. Because there are instances, I think, where you could do something new or move to a new career, but you might have to, like, really start over and go back to school if that's something that you're interested in. But I was like, April, that would have been great for you if you wanted it, but I guess she doesn't want it as bad. She thought she just wants to touch the dead bodies and see them. I don't think she wants this as her full career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So back to your point from earlier, we're back in Chicago and they're at the Bean, and Andy says this is why they call it Beantown.
Oh, Andy.
Oh my
It's
God.
actually the Boston is Beantown, and they actually
Yes.
call Chicago the Windy City. But Windy City, not because of wind. In case people don't know, it's called the Windy City for its corruption in the government officials.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is
Yeah.
a windy city too, literally.
It is. It is. Factually, it is a windy city as well. Yeah, being on the
How does wind
lake
have
like
to
it
do with
is, but-
corruption, though?
I don't remember exactly.
okay.
But I just remember I was probably in high school when I looked that up, and I was like, "Oh, that's not what I was expecting." But I'd gone on a road
Interesting.
trip, and I found a magnet at a gas station, and it was like what our governors are doing, and it was them making license plates in prison.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to look it
okay.
up.
Here it is. Chicago is nicknamed the Windy City because 19th century journalists, particularly in New York and Cincinnati, so rival 19th century journalists, mocked Chicagoans and local politicians as being full of hot air and boasting excessively while lobbying to host the 1893 World's Fair. Okay, so it's a little bit more pointed than that, but just said that they're full of hot air. Full of shit.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
That's the
this
AI
is where-
answer, so I don't know.
Andy and Tom are talking about asking Lucy out, and Andy keeps forgetting that he's not moving to Chicago. Tom's like, "We're alone. Do you think
Yep.
you're really moving here?" Oh my God. And then they cut it
Yep.
off before Andy can respond. So it's like, oh gosh, this is weird and concerning. A part of me, I'm sorry to say, I was like, Lucy, don't buy them shirts. They have enough money. Go get their own. But
Yeah.
like you can I get that it's a souvenir though, because like that is
Yeah.
very sweet and just shows Lucy's like personality. But I was like, you don't have to do that, Lucy. You don't have to do that. You can buy them lunch. That would be maybe nice if they had a long travel day or
Yeah.
something. But anyhow, Tom is an extra small, which is hilarious. And then this is where Tom chickens out asking her on a date and asks her to come work for him instead. And then we learn that she has a boyfriend. Oh no, we did not know
Yeah.
that.
It's good because he didn't have to fish for it. Like she gave it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of funny that he didn't come up at all the whole day. But
Yeah, that is interesting. Good point.
So now we're doing role play where Leslie does a fantastic Tammy impression. I'm laughing
my
out loud
gosh.
at this. Great
So
work.
good. Amy
Oh my
Poehler
God.
killed it.
So good. And I love this little Ron mantra of his, to hell with you, woman, goodbye. I think my favorite line, I know we haven't done this in a while, but I really think my favorite line in this episode is, hey, you big hunk of wiener meat. Gets me every time.
Oh, I love it so
Oh.
much.
And then Leslie
So
like
well
pushing her
delivered.
crotch. Yes. So well delivered. And then Leslie pushing her crotch around like it's hilarious physical comedy, like up against Nick Offerman. I mean, they do
Yeah.
such a great job together. The hand, oh my God, the hand towels, Chinese finger trap, like let's go to Bone Town or whatever. It's just like it's so good.
Yeah. Agree.
And then this is where they're drilling him on all the ways that Tammy could be in the house. Tammy once camped out in my attic for 6 days. She survived on rats and rainwater. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is
gross.
such vivid imagery too. Everything they're saying,
Yeah.
it's like you can picture it immediately,
Absolutely.
which I love.
Yeah.
And by
agreed.
the way, I love this house/cabin they're in. They never mentioned. I know it's just probably one of Ron's properties, but this scene in particular has the spiral staircase behind him, and I love a spiral staircase. I really think it's
Me
my most
too.
favorite like architectural thing at all. I don't love/care about interior design very much. I mean, I respect it, but I like spiral staircase is one of my most favorite things. It just looks so cool and
Yeah.
like fairy tale like, I feel.
It's a vibe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Tom says he wanted a love partner, but he got a business partner. And Andy is like, you know who else started that way? Ben and Jerry.
This whole ice
Which
cream
is so
tangent to
funny.
me is added.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
good.
it's
Not
totally,
crazy.
especially when he runs out of the taxi to go get Ben and
Yeah.
Jerry's, and he's like,
Ice cream.
I'll meet you at the airport. Like, no. Side note, Ben and Jerry have been killing it lately. They always post about progressive movements. They really stand up for humanity. It's amazing. And they've gotten a lot of heat for it too, but they keep doing it because that's what they know is right. And I will always support them. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. 100%.
And the part where they have a last minute flight is cut too. I don't think in the original air, it just talks about, he just says like, you know, we'll head to the airport or something like this. But I don't know if they like said it as much in these words. So that's good that, you know, we kind of understand, okay, they're flying back, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, Andy says there's like a spark between them. And I think that's really, I don't know. I guess we'll see where that goes because I feel like Tom is now, his confidence is shaken. But it is true. You can see that they have a spark even if she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what's going to happen.
So now at the library, Leslie and Ron are with Jamm to put up their war front against Tammy. One of the best scenes in Parks, I feel. It's so good. Side note, another Indianapolis moment, that the exterior of this library is actually part of the Indianapolis Public Library System. It is called the College Avenue branch. You know how each library has their own branch name? This one is the College Avenue branch. Cool. Now, I will say that this is a different exterior than the library we saw in, I believe it was like season 1 or 2, honestly, where Ron leaves with a thumbtack in his face, if everyone remembers that, because that was right across the street from Pawnee City Hall. Like, I remember doing a whole breakdown on it because they were walking from City Hall, which is in Pasadena, if people are new here, as the Pasadena City Hall is Pawnee City Hall as the filming location. And they walked to another building literally directly across the street, like the driveway kind of. And that is where they met with Tammy. And so I was like, maybe that location is like the headquarters because it's next to like City Hall or something. And then this location of Ron and Jammy is where she maybe is working for that day. That's the story that I made up in my mind anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, here for it.
But cool that they used the exterior of an actual Indianapolis library.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. I like that.
We do another spray and slap just for good measure. And Jamm says to Tammy, okay, I think we should break up. And Tammy laughs. And we find out that he has to wear a diaper because of all of he's been eating. Ew, that's disgusting. And then she talks Baby Talk to him. All the drills. She said, you know, we drilled you on this. We knew she was going to speak Baby Talk, which is hilarious that they knew that. And then this is where Tammy pulls her card and says, like, she'll vote for, one of her cards, and says that she'll vote for Leslie if they take this off the table and just, like, leave them alone. And, like, okay, Leslie, wow. This was, I mean, you can tell she has a bit of a moment of hesitation, like, no. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I like that she takes a pause. I think it shows her human side of like, oh, I could win here. But then it shows that she is going to put Jamm's happiness and healthiness above this.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, I could totally see James being his middle name. Jeremy James Jamm. That's now the canon of the show. Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, now she pulls her last card. She gets naked in the middle of the library in public. Great job, costume department, making the clothes just rip off. Like, this is a very big theater like set thing where you can tell she's wearing like a wrap skirt. And what they usually do is take something that would have buttons and make it Velcro, that kind of thing. Like in real life, it would be a zipper or whatever. So that's really smart that she can do this so fast to manipulate him. And I love Ron's delivery of the last card is played. I love that.
Yes. My favorite part here is Leslie being told to shh.
Yes, I was just about to say. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So that's so funny. Okay, so Brooke Balmer is this actress's name, and she has sent us voice memos many times because she's actually been in 3 episodes of Parks as a librarian, and this is an iconic line. Shh, this is a library. But you see what's going on here?
Yeah.
Hello? Because of course you need to be quiet while there's a naked lady running around. Yeah. 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 Keep your priorities straight and shut up in a library, okay? Which is just so funny. It just like makes me laugh because it makes me think that like if the fire or if there was a fire, if the library was like burning down, if there was a tornado or something and everybody was screaming, this librarian Brooke Balmer's character would be like, you guys need to shut the fuck up right immediately now. I don't care. There's a
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
This is a library. So we got voice memos from her a really long time ago, which was so nice. And she's been so kind. Every time I've reached out to her when she's been on the episode has been so sweet and so nice. Another one that I'm just so grateful to for sending us all this wonderful BTS. This is her last time on the show, which is so bittersweet. We first talked to her, if you can believe it, in season 2 with the Sweetums episode. And then Ron and Tammy, because she was a librarian again in that iteration. And yeah, what a way to have your last episode. I love this so much. Just a friendly reminder that she's been in so many things. Barry, The Middle, Always Sunny, Grey's Anatomy, Hot in Cleveland, Fresh Off the Boat, like so many amazing things, so talented. And it's been 4 years since we talked to her, if you can believe that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Time flies.
Crazy.
But so I messaged her and I asked her if she had any memories, and she was so sweet. She immediately messaged back and sent me a cute little quick voice memo, and I'll just play that right now. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Do I have any memories of Megan Mullally getting naked? If memory serves, Megan was wearing a flesh-colored pasty-like bikini to cover up all her private parts. And I got to admit, even with all of those parts covered up, she was still showing a lot of skin. And I thought, man, that takes a lot of guts. And actually, what I thought was interesting, as outgoing as Megan is when the cameras were rolling, she was actually very quiet in between takes, almost as if she were shy about having to show that much skin and stuff. I think when we did the destruction scene, we did it twice. And what I remember most fondly is we all know Nick Offerman, who plays Ron, is her real-life husband. And in between each take, he would run up to her side with her coat and cover her up. It was just such a sweet moment between a married couple. Did I get any direction or anything from my line? I didn't get any direction regarding how I said my line. I just remember the director saying, I want you to truly pop up out of nowhere. And so that's what I tried to do. And the take they ended up using, I think, was absolutely perfect. The library location. I believe we did shoot in the same place, and it is a library in North Hollywood, but this scene was filmed in a different location within the library. And as far as upcoming projects, I have actually teamed up with 3 other actresses who are all moms, like me, and volunteers with their school's PTO organizations. I was a volunteer for the PTO for 10 years, and collectively, we've written a musical about lives as PTO moms. And it's going to make its debut in LA in early 2027. Very, very excited. It's been a labor of love. And I'll have all info on my socials as the date comes up. You can find me on @BrookeBalmer on all the major platforms.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for her to do that.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's going to be awesome.
Yes, I listened
So
to that particular voice memo before the podcast recording just because it was shorter and, she sent it so quickly. And so I already emailed her back and I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Because a musical, anything really, but a musical, a play, takes so much effort and energy and collaboration, and it's a lot of hard work. It's fun, of course it is, but it's so much hard work. And just the reiterations of rewrites and blocking and how things are meant to come across on stage versus on set, it's so different. So I'm so excited for that. And I'll definitely keep posting about it, and I'll post her Instagram in the show notes as well, so that if anyone's in LA, they can go watch it, because that's going to be so amazing. And yeah, so great to hear about the direction of I just want you to pop up, because yeah, she truly did. And she came out of nowhere. And then Leslie's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It was so perfect and lovely. And yeah, kudos to Megan Mullally. Like I said, what a way to end this run of this character. Amazing.
Agreed. So great.
Love it so much. So thank you so much, Brooke, for that. I really appreciate it. And we thank you for your service on the show. It's so funny. You did a great job.
Yes, thank you.
So he says, Ron's like, you don't need the crotch blinder. Just end it. Amazing. Love that. And I'm not sure, I was going to say too, I'm not sure what exactly North Hollywood Library she's talking about because I couldn't find it anywhere online. Like they kept talking about the Pasadena one across from the City Hall, but that was the exterior, not the actual interior. But there are many libraries in North Hollywood that I remember frequenting when I lived in LA. So there's one in particular I'm thinking of that could have been it, but I don't know. So either way, love the North Hollywood moment, or like knowledge of that at least. So if you're in North Hollywood and you recognize any of the libraries, let us know. And I can't get over that Nick Offerman keeps a straight face here. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So well done.
To hell with you, woman. Goodbye. Go Jam. Get out of there. Go Jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
oh my
God.
That's exactly a phrase that Ron would say. To hell with you, woman. Goodbye. That is like, yeah.
Yeah, that's his
Ron
mantra.
phrase.
That's what they did in the training. He used that himself on her. So, yes, we are just repeating that cycle in a good way. Megan / Tammy, too, keeps knocking everything over while she's naked. I love that no one's telling her to be quiet.
Yeah, great. It's like all the librarians are on the same page, and it's like, you can be loud,
Absolutely.
but no one else can be loud.
Yes. And I love this line, too. This might be my second favorite line. Maybe it's my first. I don't know. Maybe it's a tie. Turns out the crotch blinder was inside you all along.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Side note, in the library, the book, apparently Love Life by Rob Lowe, can be seen in the background, which I could not find it.
Cool.
Somebody found it. I couldn't find it. So if someone can let me know. And apparently it came out in 2014. So it has Parks and Rec moments in it. So I definitely want to read it and see what he has to say about being on set. And I also wanted to point out, this I did see. There's a book called Psych that's visible behind Tammy too, and it's in reference to the TV show Psych, and it literally has the two dudes. I know, and it literally has the two dudes on the front and the font and everything. So you'll have to go back and check it out because it's definitely visible. It's after her line or during her line, like, what are you doing with these two jabronis? It's that one. I didn't get the timestamp, but there's also Air Force None is in the background, which April was reading. We talked about that. Game of Jones was in the background as well at the beginning of the scene. So they really did a great job filling out this library, including the other librarians. I thought was so funny. There's this lady in the background who keeps giving, you'll have to go back and watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about, where she's kind of blurred because she's in the background, who just keeps giving them judgmental looks, like kind of looking behind the counter everywhere they go. And I was like, that's actually really funny, because a lot of times with extras you don't want to do too much because you're not in the scene, but I feel like that worked for the scene, especially how these librarians are so committed to their judgment of everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now April's having a moment with Donna about what to do with her life. We are rounding out the episode here. Saturn's return is what Donna says. The orbit takes 29 years, and when it gets back to where it was when you were born, lots of turmoil, self-discovery. And yeah, that makes sense. I've heard of that. That's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, I look at when I was 29, there was a lot of change. So, yeah.
And cute little Jerry just loves his job. He doesn't want to do anything else. So funny.
Yeah. I love it.
And Ben reminds her, like, hey, you only looked at one job. Like, it's not over, you know? And Ben wants to help her. Yeah. But you can't tell Leslie, which right now I kind of think is a good call. Yeah, I agree. It might be too much.
Yeah, wait until it's real. You know, I think the way she finds out is really, really well done.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a real job necessarily, like she found a job. It's just like she's still in such the early stages. Like you can still let someone know something without telling them everything in a way. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But for right now, I don't think we should say anything because she's like already worked up about the whole Ron and National Park commercial zoning situation. So, yeah. And it's so sweet. Like Ben says, he's finally doing something he loves, so he wants to help her do the same. And I want you to be happy because you're my friend, he says, which is very cute and nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And he's always on her side. It's just,
I know.
It's nice to remember. Nice to remember.
And I like April's desk. She has a picture of her and Andy in London, which is very cute. And to your point, And to your point, you almost forget that they did the whole campaign in DC. Like they worked together and had a whole moment together. And so it's kind of nice to see that again. And then April hugs him. Wow. My jaw was on the floor. I was like, what?
Huge.
That's a big deal.
Huge.
Okay, so now Jamm is back to his normal self, calling Leslie and Ron, his best friends again. He says he's going to abstain from the vote, which is very big of him. I think that's really good, and he's finally kind of gotten back to his self, I feel, especially when he says...
I think that's growth.
I think that's growth, too. He says if he had to choose a side, it would be Lucy Lou's backside. Oh, my God. When he said that out loud, I was like, there he is. There he is. Yep. Because you're like, oh, he moved forward, he's growing, he's gonna abstain from the vote. That's so like mature of him. And you're like, oh, okay, there you go. Well, you can. You're never gonna like fully change your core of who you are. But I'm glad he's not in Ron clothes anymore. He's cleaned up. He looks good.
Yes, agreed.
So then Ron and Leslie have this moment where they're so close to making up, I feel, because you can see each other. They compliment each other. They respect each other. They're both saying it was really good how they work together. And I have to say, I love seeing this platonic relationship story. I feel like it's so perfect because it doesn't always have to be about lovers and boyfriends, girlfriends. Like, this is a deep friendship, and seeing that tension in a platonic way is really relatable, but also really unique for on screen and for these like for characters in general, because I feel like we don't do that as often.
Absolutely.
So it was really nice to see. And then, we have Tammy bringing people back together, too, which is weird. We did not expect that, I feel, because Tammy's meant to bring people apart. And also, I hate that Tammy gives libraries a bad name. Like, that kind of sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, I know, because we both love libraries.
Yeah. And then my last notes are that Lucy says that she really owes Tom. They're laughing. And I think it looks a little flirty. She puts her hand on Tom's shoulder. Like, it looks a little flirty. And then this end scene is what I was talking about earlier, where this part was just straight up replaced. Andy has this cute like ice cream moment in the Peacock version for Ben and Jerry's. That was like a callback for Ben and Jerry's. But the actual scene was a little bit different. I'm going to play it for you.
This couldn't have worked out any better. There was a guy eating lunch in here who didn't finish his spaghetti. Oh, also, Tom and Lucy are totally going to fall in love. 5-second rule.
That one's better, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I just think it's a little bit more Andy, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it's cute. They're totally going to fall in love. And I don't think he says that in the original version. Like, he kind of hints toward it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you have any other notes for this one?
No. That was it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. That was a little bit of a longer one, but we had a lot to cover, so I appreciate you hanging in there. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
See you next time.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.